Welcome back to a jam-packed Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. We're all set. The Wildcats and the Cornhuskers, who will emerge victorious today and have a big leg up in the race for the Big 8 title. The weather today absolutely perfect. The wind is not blowing very hard. By Lincoln standards, skies are cloudy, temperature perfect. These two clubs have met many times. Nebraska, the overwhelming lead. We talked about it before. The last win for K-State 25 years ago, a 12-0 victory. Warren Clausen to kick off for K-State. Reggie Ball and Corey Dixon are back deep. This one heading for the end zone. Dixon will take it a yard deep, fumble it, and then sit on it there. And the Cornhuskers will come on the attack, starting at their own 20-yard line. The quarterback of the Cornhuskers, Tommy Frazier, just a sophomore, and I think sometimes we forget that.
Well, especially because he does things so well, makes it look so easy, but he has been hobbled by injury and has lost a lot of practice time.
Tommy Frazier last week against Oklahoma State, 8 for 19, 109 yards. He did have a fumble that gave the Cowboys some hope early, but he came back and led the Cornhuskers to a couple of second-half scores that gave Nebraska the 27-13 come from behind win. Calvin Jones in the backfield. That's Jones with the ball, and he stopped after a gain of 2. Calvin Jones is back, and boy, that's a huge story for the Cornhuskers.
Well, whenever you have a guy on the cover of your media guide, a Heisman hopeful, you got to have him. He's the heart and soul of this offense. He has been out as well, and they're just getting him back and hope that he can have a big game today.
And Ken Malin, the big center, the senior, has done a great job in taking over for Jim Scott.
Well, Malin has been just a throb and everybody's problem.
Second down, 7 yards to go. Again, not much doing on the ground for the Cornhuskers. K-State stops him, and John Butler's going to have a big day today.
Well, Butler, along with a couple other people, I mean, Gaskin as well. Butler's a guy who's a junior, 6'2", 225 pounds, a little undersized, going against Weigart, but he's got big guts, and he knows how important it'll be.
Purcell Gaskin's just a sophomore. They say when he hits the field, he hits it running, and in the defensive backfield, maybe the best in the Big 8. Thomas Randolph, the best cover guy in the Big 8 Conference. Jamie Mendez, the best free safety. This is third down on the year for Nebraska. It's 3rd and 5 right now. On the option, Jones has got it. They seal it off, and it'll be 3 and out for the Cornhuskers. Kenny McIntyre comes up from his left cornerback position, and boy, the Wildcats come out storming.
Well, that's exactly what we talked about. The key would be that front seven would have to come up and deny Nebraska to run. This time you talk about corner force, folks. Well, that's it right there. Kenny McIntyre, not a real big guy, 180 pounds, 5'10", but it's an attitude thing. Made up his mind to get it done.
Now the ever-dangerous Andre Coleman goes back deep for the Wildcats. He's averaging 14 yards a return. Byron Bennett doing an outstanding job as the punter in his senior campaign with the Cornhuskers. He gets off a kick that sails towards the near side. Coleman's going to let it bounce, and it'll go out of bounds, taking a Cornhuskers bounce. A 46-yard punt by Byron Bennett into the wind. Chad May, the quarterback for the Wildcats. He's a junior, a transfer from Cal State Fullerton.
You know, he's a young man who left Cal State Fullerton because they decided to go to the wishbone offense. He's a guy who likes to get it up. He's going to have some good numbers today and keep away from the interception bug.
As you mentioned, 2 last week against KU. He had just 1 in K-State's first 4 games. 18 of 27 against the Jayhawks with the touchdown to Andre Coleman. Looks like May is already calling off a play at the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10 from the 26. Fumble. It's on the carpet. Who's got it? Nebraska.
Ed Stewart.
Ed Stewart comes up with it. Chad May looked confused. And the first turnover goes to Nebraska.
Well, you just can't afford to get out of your game plan early on, especially when you're on the road. This time we saw him with the audible. He comes out. He expects the back to be there. But where's J.J.? Well, J.J. thought he was going the opposite direction, and all of a sudden, boy, you're in deep trouble.
It looked like somebody might have tipped it, too, at the line. Let's watch it again from here.
Well, as you look here, he goes. You can tell the offensive
line.
Yeah, it slipped out of his hand, but everybody's going the opposite direction. Even his offensive line was going away from it.
And Jim Himilewski is down for the Wildcats. Ed Stewart comes up with the fumble recovery, and Nebraska gets the first turnover of the game. And look at that. Boy, Nebraska really takes advantage of their opponent's miscues.
Well, most good teams do. They always get in the red area and make something happen. come loose. He's really going to be a tough loss for K-State. He's part of that tandem with Ryan Campbell, the former Colorado Buffalo. These guys knock people off the ball. They can ill-advise to lose this kid.
Well, the Wildcats on a tough stretch of games, not only today against Nebraska, then Colorado, then Oklahoma. They want to get through this string somewhat healthy. 1st and 10 now for the Cornhuskers at the Wildcat 21. And a big hole up the middle. Strong running there by Corey Schlesinger as he dives right through the gut.
Boy, Schlesinger, he had 34 yards a week ago. You look at that big offensive line, and we're talking about smash, but these guys got pride. Hey, they were stopped last series. They come out this time and just mass man-on-man, get a good push, and then a good fullback going north-south.
Boy, after he hit Purcell Gaskins, he knocked him forward about 2 or 3 yards.
That's how you judge a good back.
2nd down and short. 2nd and 3 for the Cornhuskers. Trying to take advantage of the Wildcats' miscue. Jones. Again, Jones has nowhere to run. The Wildcats doing a good job of coming up defensively from their secondary. That time, Jamie Mendez. They're really keying on Calvin Jones today.
Well, we talked about this in our open that the safeties, Kit Rawlings or Mendez, would have to come up. Here, as you watch to the right of your screen, you see Jones look good. He's looking for a hole. Well, hey, there's not a hole. And there comes a void right there. Mendez squares up his shoulders. He has 66 tackles coming into this game, leads the team, and now you know why.
Jones, 4 rushes, 5 yards. So it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Frazier calling off a play at the line. Here he comes on the option. Gaskins hits him as he releases to Jones. Trying to turn the corner. He's got the 1st down inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. Mendez forced him out. Purcell Gaskins was about a half second late.
He really was, and you have to give the wide receivers of Nebraska some credit. Boy, they block better than anybody in the country. I mean, they take a lot of pride in. Here you're watching the option. They're coming down. You know, eventually it's going to get in the hands of Jones. Watch outside. There's Chef Cluster Johnson up top. He just chips a little bit in the secondary and gets you a couple extra yards. See, you see on the pitch there, a guy's looking. He said, I finally got some daylight, and picks up additional yardage.
1st and goal, Nebraska at the 7-yard line. Again to Schlesinger. Dives forward across the 5 down to the 4-yard line. John Butler makes the stop there. Butler, one of a trio of Wildcats who hail from the state of Nebraska. The trio that is disappointed not to be in a red uniform.
Well, you want nothing better than to come back and beat them, especially when it happens to you in that way.
And there's Jim Levitt, one of the defensive coordinators for Kansas State. Bob Stoops, the other one, he is up in the booth. 2nd down and goal at the 4. Frazier again, the pitch to Jones. Cuts back in, touchdown Nebraska. Jones, his 4th touchdown of the year.
Well, we talked about that offensive line. Brendan Sty, 66, comes up. It's going to have a crushing block, and the secondary goes on Mendez. He's going to pick on him. It's a gross mismatch when you look in terms of size and weight differential. And there's Jones, a good back, makes the cut, and goes in for the score.
So Byron Bennett now comes on for the extra point. He's 25 of 27 this year. He makes it good, and he makes it 7-0 Nebraska. So the Cornhuskers cash in on the miscue by the Wildcats, and the Huskers lead it by a touchdown. So Calvin Jones gives Nebraska a 7-0 lead. I asked Tom Osborne yesterday what it means to have Calvin Jones back on the field, and we'll talk about that in a second as Jones gets his 4th touchdown of the year.
That's one thing that'll get him back in shape in a real quick way when you get those touchdowns. They recognized that go out in that first series and have 3 and punt was really putting it back in their face, and they really had to dig down.
So Tom Sealer to kick off for Nebraska. J.J. Smith is back deep along with Andre Coleman. Good kick by Sealer in the end zone, and Coleman will down it there, and the Wildcats will start at their own 20-yard line. So yesterday, Tom Osborne was talking about Calvin Jones, his junior running back, and I asked him what it means to have him back on the field.
Well, I think same thing Calvin Jones, and that he offers some stability. He's been there, and he's been in some tough games, and and he's a very complete player. I wouldn't say that he's a pure thrower, a guy that's going to complete 70% of his passes, but I think his passing has improved this year. He's a very good option quarterback. He runs well, and he runs the team well. He seems to know what he's doing, and he gets us in and out of the right plays, and so he's been a very efficient guy and somebody that we certainly need to have out there.
Well, he's talking obviously about his quarterback, Tommy Frazier, who he is glad is semi-healthy. Frazier's been battling an ankle injury all year. Osborne, the offensive coordinator, in addition to his head coaching duties with Nebraska, has his club in front 7-0. Second down, 7 yards to go for the Wildcats, the 23-yard line. Here comes Alberts on the pressure, the quick hitter, and not much room for Andre Coleman. There defensively, Ed Stewart. He was the one that recovered the fumble.
Well, Ed Stewart, he's number 3 in tackles on this club and 3rd in sacks. And what it is real quick, what you're trying to do right now is probably take advantage of Trev Alberts, who gets a quick rush, run a quick screen out, and try to just keep him off balance, but doesn't work against a team that can tackle well.
So that brings up 3rd and 9 now for the Wildcats, something that Kansas State was trying to avoid. 3rd and long situation.
Lost in momentum.
Kansas State, on their opening drive, fumbled it on the first play. They had scored on an opening drive in all but 1 game this year. Now make it all but 2. Nice catch, but it will not be enough for the first down. J.J. Smith makes the one-handed catch, but Mike Anderson was with him stride for stride, and the gain just to the 25 he needed to get to the 30.
Boy, that says a lot when your middle linebacker, Anderson, can stay with a guy at the speed of J.J. Smith, but he did it on that, and you're going to have to punt. You can just tell how devastating that fumble was to K-State.
So Chad Romano, the freshman, goes back to punt. He had a 60-yarder against Kansas last week, and back deep to get it for the Cornhuskers is number 2, Corey Dixon. The wind, what there is today in Lincoln, is at Romano's back. And the high snap is taken. Coming over to get it is Dixon. And we have a flag down as Dixon takes it up to the 35, a 42-yard punt. And we have a flag down. Let's see what the infraction is about. Kenny McIntyre comes down to make the stop for the Wildcats. Our referee today, Tom Allers from Des Moines. Talking with one of the linesmen, Bill Spikesma from Grimes, Iowa. Line judge is Al Green. Our field judge today, Butch Clark. Side judge, Ron Leisbach. Our back judge today, Mark Johnson, and our umpire, Bob Holliday. Yeah, that's an infraction against the Cornhuskers on the return. So it'll push Nebraska back.
Push in the back on the receiving team. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So Nebraska will have it at their own 25 when we come back to Lincoln.
First down and 10.
First and 10 for the Huskers. 8:46 to go, first quarter. Nebraska already leading 7-0, cashing in on a fumble by Kansas State. The give is to Jones again. He is smothered right at the line. Kansas State is not giving Calvin Jones much room to run as we get down to Duke Fry.
Update you on the injury on Himilewski. He is here on this bench, sitting on a table with his knee brace off, his pants rolled up above the knee, and he has ice on the knee. Not a very happy look on the face right now. Don't know whether or not he'll be back in the ball game, though.
All right, thanks for the update. We'll keep checking on Himilewski. Second down, 9 yards to go. A gain of 1 by Jones. 7 rushes, 17 yards for Calvin so far today. Play action pass. Frazier wants to throw a little bit too strong. The pass was intended for his tight end, Trumaine Bell, who's getting the start today in the place of Gerald Armstrong.
Armstrong out with the hurt hamstring, and what we thought would happen with Bell, because of his ability to get out and catch the football, they would counter Kit Rollins and K-State putting him up on the line trying to stop the run, and that's exactly what happened.
And Jamie Mendez put some pressure on. Mendez, as we mentioned, one of the best free safeties in the league. He's a candidate for the Jim Thorpe Award. And now from the shotgun, Tommy Frazier. 3rd and 9. As time across the middle, wide open is Muhammad. He has the first down to the 38-yard line.
Oh, I guarantee you that Gaskins was supposed to get more of a hit. Here's you watching the inside of your screen. There you like your linebackers to get a chuck on that receiver coming across the middle. If not, boy, he's running in space. That guy's too talented to be running all alone.
Abdul Muhammad, along with Corey Dixon and Reggie Ball, part of the itty-bitty committee here with the Cornhuskers.
But, boy, they block, though. They will hit you.
That's right. That's one of their keys is you come to play receiver for Nebraska, and you're going to be called on to block a lot. 1st and 10 for now Nebraska at their own 38. Now Jones has room to run, and look at the move. Jones does not get out of the tackle of Jamie Mendez, but he does get across midfield a 13-yard run for Calvin Jones.
Boy, it's very difficult to teach explosion. You watch this offensive line. They come out man-on-one. There you have a trap. Comes out, gets on the trap, and then Jones. There's a fake here and a good move. Swivel hips, going north-south. Boy, this kid has it all.
So another 1st down for Nebraska. Now Jones up to 30 yards on the day. Frazier looking for the option, and boy, Kansas State did a good job that time in stringing it out. John Butler got way over from his defensive end position to stop that one dead in its tracks.
But you mentioned Butler in our opening and the importance of him playing good for the Wildcats. This time, you keep shoulder separation. It's good to have that relationship where you don't get hooked. He keeps him out, and that time going up against a good one. Uyghur couldn't get him hooked. You like to see your quarterback cut it up and help out. That time, it didn't happen.
So a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 now for the Cornhuskers right at midfield. Clock moving, 6:40 left to go in the 1st quarter. 7-0 Nebraska. Frazier to throw. Muhammad, he had it, but it went through his fingertips and then almost picked off by Kid Rawlings.
You're only going to get 6 or 7 opportunities in a football game to make plays. This is obviously one. Nebraska now, trying to keep things balanced. That ball's up in the air, boy. Somebody's got to make a play. Got about as close as he could. Kid makes a great effort, but couldn't get up to it.
So far, it looks like, Rick, the Kansas State secondary is giving a lot of cushion to the receivers for Nebraska.
They're trying to spy in and see to run through the pass, and they could pay for it if Frazier can hit some passes.
Well, 3rd and 11, he'll be passing here. Given lots of time, down the middle, wide open Reggie Ball through his fingertips and incomplete. Ball had beaten Kenny McIntyre, the left corner, and he was set to go in if that pass is on target.
Well, good point. 1st quarter, you got a lot of adrenaline going, 2 undefeated clubs in. Sometimes the quarterback may be high on the ball. Nebraska's doing something they don't really like to do, and that's throw the football. Give K-State some credit because they're forcing them to do it.
Now Byron Bennett on to punt. Andre Coleman, he returned one earlier this year for 74 yards and a touchdown. And Bennett, his first kick, 48 yards. High snap, gets this one off, and a boomer. Coleman will let it go and on into the end zone, so Kansas State will start at their own 20-yard line. 6:20 left to go in the 1st quarter. Nebraska taking advantage of that fumble by Chad May, and they have the 7-0 lead.
When you're on the road, you definitely want a crowd to be subsided. You want to go out and take things away from them. K-State now is climbing uphill because of their own mistake. Now they're going to have to pass the football a little earlier than they may have wanted to do, but they're going to have to make a play.
How much does it shake your confidence when you have a turnover that early in a contest, when you come in and you're sky high and then all of a sudden first play and it's on the carpet?
Well, it slaps you to reality. You know it can happen. I think it hurts more to lose one of your players. I mean, that's really, now they got a double dip on it, but they're going to have to settle down, and that's where your head coach comes in. And Bill Snyder's one of the best. He's got to get this group back into the framework of the game.
Well, last week, Kansas State, the big interstate rivalry with Kansas, winning that game 10-9. And yesterday, I asked Bill Snyder if he would put the KU game in perspective.
You know, our approach is that every ball game we play is the biggest one that we have played at any time, and obviously this one taking place right now is the biggest ball game in our careers at Kansas State University. But it was certainly a big win for us. There's no denying that, and an extremely important ball game. And when you play an interstate rivalry, obviously it has to be a tremendously important ball game for you. And I think the ball game grows in importance as you're there over a period of time. You know, when I first went to Kansas State University, the interstate rivalry didn't mean near as much as it does at this time.
It does mean a lot now. The sellout crowd last week in Manhattan, the record crowd, will attest to that. May on play action still has it, and lots of time, rolls out, and it's almost picked off. John Reese had his hands on it. The pass was just a little bit overthrown, intended for Kevin Lockett, and Reese can't come up with the pick.
Well, we talk about consistency, and this is one where Chad will kick himself for it because the offensive line did his job. He had great time. He's just going to have to see his receiver a little better and get something positive going, maybe a shorter route, but move the chains.
Chad May, the quarterback of the Wildcats, because Jason Smargesso, the incumbent, decided to quit the team, did not come back in the fall. A lot of K-State fans are kind of glad about that. Jason Smargesso was never one of the favorite quarterbacks for Wildcat fans. Second down, 10 yards to go. There's J.J. Smith, big hole, and maybe a first down. J.J. Smith takes it up to the 30-yard line before Mike Anderson and Ed Stewart can haul him down.
Well, he's their go-to guy. You really want to get at least 80 to 90 yards rushing on the ground for them to have a chance. Past couple of weeks, he's gone over the 100-yard mark, and that's just pure T, good offensive line play, a back to see the hole and get in it.
One thing about Nebraska's defense is they do pursue. They do come in towards that line, and Kansas State, they're taking advantage of that with the draw play that Smith takes up for 10-yard gain.
You want to see a trap, a waggle, lag, a lot of little things you can do to keep those black shirts at bay.
So first and 10, the first down of the game for Kansas State. May again rolling out again with lots of time, lobbing one up, and it is caught. J.J. Smith. There's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Smith still on his feet. Touchdown if it stands. Let's see. J.J. Smith takes it into the end zone, but there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Last series, J.J. went up against Anderson. We credited Anderson for doing a good job, but that dog won't hunt for an entire game.
It's against Nebraska. That's a touchdown, a 69-yard touchdown for Bill Snyder and the Wildcats. Wow.
All right, got our first wow in the game. This is a good athlete. This guy, you get him out in the backfield, you know he can make things happen. And I'll continually talk about that. When you got a back that you can get the ball in his hands against a linebacker, you have a mismatch. That time, you see Anderson, who's a good football player, but against the run. You don't want this guy going up against J.J. Smith. They got away with it one time, went back to the well once too often, and J.J. Smith, as all good backs will do, make you pay.
J.J. Smith breaking a couple of tackles after the catch, and now for the extra point, Tate Wright. He hasn't missed all year, still hasn't missed. 18 of 18 on the year, and Bill Snyder's Wildcats have tied up the Cornhuskers. It's 7-7 with 5:38 to go in the first quarter. J.J. Smith, who ran for 10 yards on the previous play, goes 70 yards for the touchdown, and Kansas State has tied it at 7. And Chad May with a great touch pass to his running back.
Well, he really did. He had a bad throw in the first one. He comes back, hits the big one. Give some credit to the wide receivers, though. Mitch Running, Andre Coleman, and Kevin Lockett, because the three amigos, they forced Nebraska to put a linebacker on J.J. Smith so they could double and run a bracket on the outside guys. And it's a team, you know, when you get a touchdown, everybody has something to do with it. Good offensive line play, nice call.
Good call and good play by Kansas State. Back deep, Reggie Ball along with Corey Dixon for the Cornhuskers, awaiting the kick of Warren Clausen. So Chad May, who put one on the carpet on the game's very first play for Kansas State, redeems himself with a 70-yard touchdown pass to J.J. Smith. Clausen boots it deep. It'll be Dixon taking it at the goal line. Dixon with a big haul. Look out. Dixon hauled down at the 33-yard line. A 33-yard return. Let's take another look at that great touch pass by Chad May.
What impressed me most, though, is he had all day to throw the football. So Nebraska has three problems. One, they got to get pressure. Two, they've got to get Anderson off a guy with that kind of speed. And they've got to force these guys to run the football. I mean, you can't give away passes like this.
Troy Dumas and Mike Anderson both missed on the opportunity to tackle J.J. Smith, and May looks like, hey, we've got a touchdown. We have tied the game in a scoring drive for Kansas State. Takes them from their own 20, an 80-yard drive, and the big play, of course, the 70-yard touchdown pass. Again, Calvin Jones does not have a lot of room to run. It's Jamie Mendez who's coming up from his safety position to make a lot of stops today.
He's the key. Both safeties are. They're going to have to come up with stop. You look at this, 3 plays, 80 yards. 42 seconds elapsed on it. The key is the matchup. Get it back on the middle linebacker. I'll beat it up like a drum. Go over and over. I'll take that one every day.
J.J. Smith responsible for all 80 yards, 70 through the air, the other 10 on the ground. Mendez already off to a good day. Mendez with 66 total tackles coming into today at 19 against KU last week.
Well, preseason All-American has not done anything to disclaim those rumors, man. He's legit.
Second down, 9 yards to go for the Huskers at their own 35. Play action. Frazier still got it. Now looking to run. Has a lot of room on the near side. Frazier turns it up. Frazier still in bounds. Randolph pulls him down inside the 10, down at the 6-yard line. Wow.
They have so many weapons. Simple option play, and they can get you.
And you watch Corey Dixon. You mentioned it, Rick. Watch number 2, Corey Dixon, the receiver, and a great block on the corner.
Well, one thing, you roll right. That gets half your defense out. Now you see on the pursuit. There's a block there, your first block. I mean, he manhandles him. You're talking about getting in McIntyre's face and going after him. Receivers coming out of everywhere for Big Red. Results, positive offensive game.
Corey Dixon will grade well when they look at the film on that one.
That's worth a milkshake.
First and goal from the 7, a 58-yard run by Tommy Frazier. Here comes Frazier rolling out, has room, could run it in, but decides to throw it in. Trumaine Bell, his first touchdown for Nebraska.
That can hurt you. That's Big Red offensive football. Trumaine Bell filling in for Gerald Armstrong, who's out with the hamstring. Key block on this. Corey Schlesinger has a real big block right at the point of attack. That allows Frazier to get on the edge. Now he has an option. Run pass, wide open, tight end in the end zone. Touchdown, Cornhuskers.
So Bennett on for the extra point to give the Huskers a 7-point lead again. He does. So the big play, Tommy Frazier's 58-yard run to take it down to the 7. Then Frazier, it looks like he could run it in. He had wide open to the corner, but instead decides to throw it to a wide open Trumaine Bell.
Now Turner Gill there on your screen. A former great quarterback talking to a future great. Frazier here on the carpet. You got to get pressure on a guy like this. But, you know, the offensive line did its job, and Corey Schlesinger comes up, has a nice block. Bell, boy, great athletic receiver, gets open, deserves that one.
Well, Bell with his first Nebraska touchdown for Tom Osborne. He's probably going to keep that football. Bell, a converted wide receiver. They really liked his size at 6'3", 220. Now he's no longer part of that itty-bitty committee, but he's a tight end.
Oh, no, he's got to get fit with that offensive line. Look, you talk about this is like fast break football. 3 plays, 66 yards, 11 time, a minute 3, 7-yard touchdown reception. To keep playing that drive, Tommy Frazier at his run.
So Andre Coleman back deep along with J.J. Smith, 2 and 22. The kickoff again for Nebraska, Tom Sealer. Nebraska strikes quickly. As you mentioned, the fast break offense. A quick strike by the Wildcats, and Nebraska comes right back to take the 7-point lead again. That 58-yard run, by the way, by Tommy Frazier, we are told, is the longest of his young career.
Well, I guarantee you that record won't hold long.
So a lot of firsts on that drive. The longest run for Frazier and the first touchdown for Trumaine Bell. This is Coleman at the 5. Dangerous, and we've got a penalty flag thrown into the fray as Coleman goes down at the 26-yard line. Kareem Moss makes the stop for Nebraska. And it looks like they're going to push the Wildcats back. They are. That'll cost them 10 yards and move the ball back to the 16.
This gives a special teams coach a gray hair.
Well, next week, Cordell Stewart leads the strong passing attack of the Colorado Buffaloes. They head into Manhattan to take on these Kansas State Wildcats. Tune in next Saturday night and check your local listings for the time of the Big 8 game in your area. .421 left to go in the first quarter. Kansas State trails again by 7. 14-7 our score. And the Wildcats back up on their own 10-yard line. Well, that's a huge penalty against Kansas State. So far, the mistakes have gone K-State's way. The fumble, they've had the penalty here. This is really hurting the Wildcats offense. J.J., though, finds the hole. J.J. Smith running hard, 10 yards, another first down up to the 20-yard line. Toby Wright finally brings him down there. Boy, J.J. Smith is a load to bring down at 6 feet and 205 pounds.
You could draw this up on a blackboard a million times. But you just couldn't get a guy to do it unless he has a natural instinct. He kind of bends it back. I mean, just explosion is the key because he's going against a team defense that has some pretty good speed.
And let's do that on to Duke Fry for a quick injury update.
Dave, Jim Himmelowski has got his knee now wrapped in ice. They've given him a pair of crutches. It looks like he's done for the day. That's not good news. And Tim Colston, the defensive lineman, had to miss the last series because of the blood rule. They had to put new pants on him and had to cut off all his equipment.
Look at J.J. run, Duke. J.J. Smith takes it up to the 37-yard line. Mitch running a good block. We talked about the good blocks for the Cornhusker receivers. Watch 89 if you can see him in your picture here.
You have a hard time finding any good offensive teams that pick up yards that don't have the help of tight ends and wide receivers coming in your screen. Right there, Mitch running, just trying to stay with him. You don't have to get a pancake, but you just keep in him and give your back a chance to get to daylight.
You like those pancakes, though, don't you?
I love those. When that head hits the back and those feet go up in the air. Oh, yeah.
And you hear the air going out of their system. First and 10 now for the Wildcats. They're moving the ball well up to the 37. This drive started at their own 10-yard line. Looks like May is checking off again at the line. And give again, J.J. Smith. Boy, he's hit right at the line of scrimmage by Ed Stewart. Stewart has come up big so far today for the Huskers. He was the one that recovered the fumble earlier today.
3 big plays by Stewart, but I like the fact that keep it on the ground. K-State is determined. Boy, if you can run like that, make them stop you. Now you set up the pass.
You see Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator for the Cornhuskers. They have made a huge switch from the 5-2 that McBride has coached his entire tenure here in Nebraska to a 4-3 this year. They say they're just now starting to get comfortable with it.
Yeah, it takes time. He's got great athletes, though.
2nd and 9 now for Kansas State. May to throw, has an open receiver. That's running. He breaks a tackle and gets the first down near midfield to the 49-yard line. Mitch Running, who had a big day against Kansas last week with 8 catches for 84 yards.
Just picked up where he left off. You know, sometimes you take a little play like this, 5, 6, 7 yard out. What you're trying to do is clear 2 receivers up. He kind of goes out in the flat. You shake a tackle. Now, arm tackles are credit against good football players. Go north-south and get to that flag.
Well, Himmelowski looks to be done. Hopefully it's just for today. Let's hope that's not anything more serious that might put him out the rest of the year.
Just feel for these young kids.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats now up to the 49-yard line. Good drive here by K-State. This time it's Rod Schiller. Schiller cannot turn the corner, gets it maybe to midfield, maybe a yard on the play, but that's it. Tyrone Williams came up from his cornerback position to snuff that one out.
Williams came up from the corner, but it was the man, Trev Alberts. Boy, he wouldn't budge a bit on that one. Barrett Brooks couldn't get anywhere with him. And again, it's good that they try to go left. If you've noticed, most of the plays have been a veer option, kind of running back to the right side. You just got to stay at it.
Trev Alberts, number 34, will probably be calling out his name quite a few times today. He is. With a capital S. Maybe he's got the S on his uniform.
Yeah, I get to check.
2nd and 10 now for the Wildcats. Play action again. May to throw. Lofts another one up. This one in the direction of Andre Coleman. Who's coming down with it?
He's got it.
Is it Coleman? It is! Wow! He took it away from John Reese. He just took it away.
Well, I just get so excited when I see things that you can't coach. That's pure desire. There's no way in the world he's supposed to come down with this football unless he makes up his mind that it's his ball. And there's no receiver. I kind of like to see the guys on that side come down with him. Boy, you know, you're in perfect position. You can't ask to be any better if you're Nebraska. You come over, got to make a play. Reese should have that football, but he doesn't.
34-yard pass play. May now 5 of 6 for 116 yards. Remember, he had just 159 all last week against Kansas. Coleman, a big play receiver for Kansas State. 1st and 10 Wildcats at the Nebraska 17. J.J. Smith finding some room on the right side. Busts inside the 15 down to the 13. John Reese makes the stop.
There was very little there. A good back comes. The average guy gets caught for a loss. This kid finds a way to just sense it out, just smell it, and stick his head in there and pick up a couple of yards and run to the short side of the field that time and still able to move the chain.
Smith now 44 yards on the day. Well, at this rate, he'll get 100 again. And look at Chad May's numbers. 2nd and 7. This crowd making some noise now in Lincoln. J.J. down to the 10. Dante Jones makes the stop. That's the time remaining in the first quarter. It's 14-7 Nebraska. It may be the last play of this first quarter. Well, what a drive, though, by Kansas State. Rick, this started way back at their own 10-yard line. Now they're down to the 10 of Nebraska. So Chad May with the break here will come over and talk things over with Bill Snyder. It'll be a 3rd and 4 for the Wildcats when we come back to Lincoln. Nebraska leading 14-7.
They ooze some confidence right now. They believe they can win, and it helps a lot. You have adversity, you lose an offensive lineman, you have a fumble, but they don't quit.
And now it's 3rd and 4 for the Wildcats as we get set to begin the second quarter with Duke Fry and Rick Walker. I'm Dave Armstrong. We're at a sold-out Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. The Cornhuskers leading 14-7 as the second quarter opens. Look at the numbers. Nebraska, the big 58-yard run by Tommy Frazier, but Kansas State all over Nebraska in the air. May comes on the option, pitches back to J.J. looking for the end zone, and he is out of bounds at the 3-yard line. J.J. Smith with some strong running on the far side. John Reese might have saved a touchdown for the Huskers.
Well, if it's my team, you'd believe I'd have put the ball in the hands of 22 as well. They didn't get a chance to run the option out the way you liked to, but when you put the ball in the hands of a great athlete, good things happen.
Well, you change those colors to silver and blue instead of silver and purple, and number 22 looks a lot like Emmett Smith.
He's running a little bit like Emmett right now.
1st and goal for the Wildcats. The ball resting at the 2.5-yard line. J.J. the lone setback for the Wildcats. And the give is to J.J. Not much room right side. No gain at all. Smith, though, on the day already 55 yards.
They're picking on Dante Jones a little bit. Ernie Beal, these guys a little light in the cushion. Jones 220, Beal 205. It makes sense.
Come a long way in college football, haven't we? 210, 220. In the old days, used to be a great defensive lineman or offensive tackle.
Something special. You got 2 stakes at Trouttown.
2nd and goal. The ball at the 3-yard line. Kansas State trying for the tying score. Again, J.J. looking into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas State. J.J. Smith with his 7th touchdown of the year, and the Wildcat fans who have come from Manhattan are cheering madly here in Lincoln.
Boy, you got to believe in your offensive line, and this time you got to give Brooks and Wolford some credit because they went right at Trev Alberts. They went at Connealy at the strength of that black shirt defense and pounded. I mean, this is just man-on-man, smash-mouth football. Put the ball in Smith's hands. Good things continue to happen.
Barrett Brooks, real key on him today as he has the task of trying to block Trev Alberts. Barrett Brooks, number 73, the left tackle of the Wildcats, was the one that made the big hole for J.J. Smith. So the Wildcats have tied things at 14 on the extra point by Tate Wright. J.J. Smith with his 7th touchdown of the year, and J.J. is off to a big day.
He's also exhausted as well as we take another look at it. This time made just a simple hand as you watch the fullback gets a good block for him right at the point of attack. And you look at these guys up front, man. Wolford, Brooks, and New Year, the center. New Year's having a splendid season. One of the better centers in all of football. He gets his blocks, either the shirt on and a hat on everybody. And then there's a good back. You're watching backside. Most plays happen when you get offensive linemen that are unselfish, that'll get across the face of their guy and get a push. That time it worked.
So last week, J.J. 135 yards against Kansas, a career best. J.J. Smith is off to a strong start already with 58 yards on just 10 carries today as we get down to Duke Fry.
Just a moment ago after the touchdown, Andre Coleman ran by and looked over to me at the sidelines and said, "They can't stop us. We're going to win this thing. They can't stop our offense." Then he ran back off the field, came back on and yelled at me again and said, "They can't stop us." And before the ball game, Brian Campbell, their tackle on the offensive side, was running down the sidelines talking to cameramen saying, "We're going to beat you." He was looking at anybody dressed in red. "We're going to beat you."
Well, if he's going up against the cameraman, he's got a good shot.
Yeah, I take those odds myself.
So Kansas State has tied Nebraska here in Lincoln. 14-14 our score. And on that drive, Andre Coleman was right. Nebraska could not stop them. That drive started way back at the 10-yard line. Look at that. A 90-yard drive that chews up over 5 minutes, 11 plays, and Smith takes it in from the 3.
Well, you go from fast break football. This time it was like they got him in the paint, backed him in with a big center. You know, 11 plays is what you want on any level. You chew up some clock, which keeps that big red machine on the sidelines, and then you get points. A lot of offenses will come down and settle for 3 or turn it over. Boy, and you get time. That's good. Good football.
Warren Clausen kicking into the win now. Corey Dixon, Reggie Ball back deep. This will be Ball with it at the 5. Ball runs into his own blocker and is ripped down at the 25-yard line. But J.J. Smith off to a good day. I talked to Bill Snyder yesterday about J.J. rushing for over 100 yards 2 consecutive games, and I asked him about the performance of the running backs at KSU.
J.J. has played awfully well for us, but I think we have 2 very fine running backs. I like Rod Schiller a great deal, and of course we rotate those 2 youngsters, and J.J.'s had a few more snaps here of late than Rod has, but it won't always necessarily go that way. And I'm awful proud of both of them.
And he should be proud. Schiller gives J.J. a spell. Schiller this year is also averaging for Kansas State over 4 yards per carry. This is Calvin Jones. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. The hit by Kirby Hokut, the middle linebacker. Hokut with 16 tackles last week against Kansas.
Well, he had an outstanding day against the Jayhawks. He's number 2 in terms of tackles in today's game with 62 overall. Again, one of those guys, not real big, 215-pound junior out of Sherman, Texas, but boy, he's got a big heart.
You get the feeling that Kansas State went to bed thinking of number 44?
Well, if not, they woke up to him in the middle of the night.
Frazier now drops back to pass. Wide open is his tight end, Trumaine Bell. Ridden out of bounds at the 45-yard line. First down, Nebraska. Kenny McIntyre rides Bell out of bounds.
You know, sometimes it just helps to be lucky. As we watch, again, a misdirection, they kind of get the defense to flow one way and throw back. And Bell has unusual skills. He can get across and make things happen. It's really unfortunate for K-State that Gerald Armstrong is injured.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, because they wouldn't be throwing across Gerald like that. He catches a lot of touchdowns for Nebraska. But this guy's special.
1st and 10 for Nebraska on the option. Here comes Jones. He's got some room. Tripped up. And he falls forward inside the K-State territory down to the 43-yard line. It's close to a first down. Purcell Gaskins was the one that trips him up.
Boy, that won't cut it. You've got to get a better force than this. As we watch ground level, I love this look. You watch him come down, run the option, you get a quick pitch. Somebody's supposed to be there right now. See, that's too late. When you get there, you got to lock up and put a hit on it.
So Jones now 44 yards on the day. Remember, he had 186 against Kansas State in Tokyo last year. Now Frazier wants to check off at the line. Then he wants to throw and hit immediately as he was trying to catch it. Corey Dixon by Thomas Randolph. What's a good matchup, isn't it? Randolph and Dixon.
The one we had our eye on. Randolph, just a super. He's a potential All-American. This guy has great speed. Was clocked at 4.28 doing winter workouts. 3-time All-American, 55-meter. Guy runs 6.17. I know you were fast in your day, but I don't think you ever ran 6.1.
To nowhere. Tommy Frazier now 3 of 7 on the day. Randolph is considered a first or at latest second-round draft pick by the NFL Draft Report. Frazier is hit down, and we've got a penalty flag as well. Might have been a hold as coming in Tim Colston, the sophomore out of Tampa, Florida, hits Frazier before that play can develop.
Colston has been active early on in this game, getting a lot of playing time right now. That was a super play.
And it is the hold against Nebraska. Most likely Kansas State will refuse the penalty, take the down and the loss. And it's going to bring up 3rd and long for Nebraska. And our referee, Tom Allers from Des Moines today.
Holding on the offense. Decline. 3rd down.
Taking a look, we mentioned Dalby Colston. This time he kind of shoots the gap. This is a play away, and you know, sometimes the play going away from the offensive lineman doesn't get his head in front of you and cut you off. You can take a big body. That's 255 pounds and just work yourself right to the quarterback.
So now 3rd and 14. Nebraska 2 for 4 today on 3rd down from the shotgun Frazier. Now he wants to go deep, and wide open is Ball. Is he inbounds? Yes, and he's still inbounds. Still inbounds. Down to the 5. 42-yard pass play to Reggie Ball.
Well, can you believe this? Nebraska's going up top, making things happen. Here, it looks like you got man-on-man, but it's not. He's playing like a zone, or either he should be with him. Maybe sometimes he got caught up that time. McIntyre in the defense. No way in the world you want a guy with this kind of speed running downfield by himself. Great notion to know where he's at. Keep those feet in. Talking about the toe tap. This guy works upfield, makes the big play.
With a side judge Ron Leesback from Broomfield, Colorado, right there to make the call, and so is Jones for the touchdown. His second of the day. Well, this game turning into who has the ball last.
I can hardly wait till the 4th quarter. To play fullback at Nebraska, man, you just have to be an animal. Corey Schlesinger comes in that time, gets a big block once again. You see Abdul Muhammad, wide receiver. Everybody throwing their body around for the Cornhuskers, and the results, 7 points.
Point after is good, and there is the 7 and the 7-point lead for Nebraska. So Calvin Jones with his second touchdown of the day has given Nebraska a 21-14 lead. So Tom Osborne's got to like the way things are developing right now. A 7-point lead. Calvin Jones his second touchdown of the day, and yesterday I asked him what it means to have Jones back on the field.
Well, he certainly gives us an added experience factor in there, having played a great deal the last 2 years, and then this is his 3rd, and of course he's a big guy with good speed. I don't know that I can say that he's completely recovered. I think he's better, but anytime you miss 3-4 weeks, it sets you back a little. But he's doing well, and we expect to have a good game out of him.
So far, a good game. 49 yards on 12 carries, 2 touchdowns today for the junior running back Calvin Jones. So Tom Sealer to kick off, and it's coming to J.J. Smith at the 3. J.J. good running all the way up to the 28-yard line, hit down by Eric Stokes. And Nebraska goes 71 yards, Rick, on 7 plays, taking just 2 minutes.
Well, the key to that, Frazier to Ball with the nice catch and the great run afterwards to take the ball and get it in scoring position. At that point, Jones knocks it in. And again, we're just going back and forth like this. This is a great game if you're a spectator.
Now Chad May comes out. He's having a big day so far for Kansas State. May brings the Wildcats back. So far, 9 possessions in this game, and we've had 5 touchdowns.
Coaches don't like it, but I sure get a kick out of it.
See if the Wildcats roar one more time. Look at the total yards today. Pretty even. J.J. Smith. Did he fumble the football? I think Kansas State got it back. Trev Alberts might have knocked it loose. And the ball was picked up again by number 46, Brad Seib, the tight end.
Ball definitely came out. I was just about to say, you know, you can't get any better 3 or 4 yards on first down. First down has really been the key so far for K-State. Watch this simple little dive, offensive line. Everybody's got a hand on the shirt. He goes in. Let's watch and see who knocks that out. Looks like Dante Jones may have got a hand in, knocked the ball out. Sometimes it helps to be lucky.
Second down now, 6 yards to go. May the throw, running was right there and well covered by Tyrone Williams.
Yeah, that was good defense.
Chad May will be faced with a 3rd and 6. Chad May said last week against Kansas, after the game, he couldn't get off the field. He said, girls were kissing me, so it was nice. He said, the kind of stuff you see on TV all the time.
Hey, we'll be getting kissed today here in Nebraska. You better believe that.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Again, same play. This time it's complete to running. This time he got in front of Tyrone Williams and makes the first down catch, goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Well, it's a real good play. It looks simple. It's not. Requires a lot of time and good acceleration. You've got to sell the defensive back on the fact that you might be going up. This time Williams plays it pretty passive, and if you're going to do that, boy, I'd take it every play.
Running, we mentioned last week, a record-setting day for him with those 8 catches against Kansas. And Chad May with another first down for Kansas State. Maybe Andre Coleman was right. Maybe Nebraska can't stop K-State today. May still got it. Wants to go deep. Has Coleman, but a little bit too far. Coleman was cutting in front of the strong safety, Toby Wright, but the ball thrown out of bounds by May.
Well, it's a pretty decent idea. But you know my style, man. I think when you got a back like J.J. Smith, I'm going to run that ball off tackle at you. I'm going to keep Nebraska right now on his heels and pound the ball up front.
May, his numbers today. A good day so far. And the one great catch by Andre Coleman might have saved him an interception. 2nd and 10 now for Kansas State. Rod Schiller is the lone setback for the Wildcats. Again, play action. May across the middle, and no call. It's running, wants pass interference on Toby Wright, but does not get the call. So 3rd and 10.
That was close. See, I think when you go to the pass too soon, you've got a guy like Smith or Schiller in this case, you can run off tackle. I keep going with it. I thought it was real close on this. Then again, you think I'm going to lean a little bit to the offense, but you're looking inside right here. See, there's contact. Boy, that was a bad call.
Yeah, that's definitely
one that got away from him.
No call there, and now it's 3rd and 10. Nobody in the backfield now for Kansas State, and Chad May wants timeout. First timeout taken by the Wildcats with 10:51 to go till the break. The Huskers leading it 21-14. Well, the beautiful campus here, the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. Nebraska leading it by a touchdown in the 2nd quarter. The Wildcats now faced with a 3rd down, 10 yards to go at their own 40-yard line. And no one in the backfield now for the Wildcats. Here comes pressure, and great defense by Nebraska. Coleman caught it, but Reese and Raymakers were right there.
Boy, that was great pursuit on that. They left Trev Alberts unblocked in this scheme. He comes around the corner to trying to do a little quick wide receiver screen. 2nd time they've tried this time to an opposite side. You got to get that key block. And if you don't get it up front, you're in a world of trouble. That time, John Reese comes up and really single-handedly disrupted that play.
So back deep, Corey Dixon for Nebraska. This will be the 2nd punt of the day for Chad Romano. J.J. Smith, we were wondering about him. He was not in that last series for the Wildcats and still over on the sidelines talking with the trainers. Looks like there might be a problem with his left arm, the way he is picking it up and putting it back down again. And boy, if the Wildcats lose J.J. for any length of time in this game, that would be a big blow for K-State. Romano with a pretty good punt, a low one, driving into the wind. It'll take a Kansas State bounce and go out of bounds at the 24-yard line. A 40-yard punt into the wind by the freshman Romano. And don't forget, you can watch the Big 8 Gridiron Report, highlights, previews. Drew Goodman, Dave Logan will take you through the Big 8 report each and every week right here on Prime Network, so check your local listings for the time in your area. Tommy Frazier, what's he done today? Well, all he has done is guided this Nebraska attack to 3 first-half touchdowns, including a 58-yard run himself.
They throw the ball a heck of a lot more than I think most Cornhuskers fans could expect.
Frazier already today is 4 of 8, 75 yards. Flag comes flying in as Calvin Jones goes out of bounds, hit out by Jamie Mendez. Might be a hold, though, against the Cornhuskers.
Zadiska came up on this and kind of looped John Butler.
Well, earlier, Bill Snyder was talking about the 5-0 start by the Wildcats. He said, boy, this is great if you don't have to play anymore this year, but the first 5 don't mean a whole lot if you don't get something accomplished with the next 6.
Amen.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, repeat first down.
And there's a miscue by the Huskers that will set them back. Let's go down now to get an update on J.J. Smith from our own Duke Fry. Duke?
Dave, apparently the problem with J.J. is he's hyperventilating. And I don't know if he just got too excited or what it is, but he's hyperventilating until they get him. So he's breathing properly, they can't get him back into the ball game. So they're talking to him, trying to calm him down, trying to get him back into a relaxed state so that he can get back in the game.
Well, the problems with hyperventilation, you get real dizzy. It's really hard to get your bearings on where you're at.
Especially seeing all this red.
1st and 22. Frazier puts it up in the dirt, in the grass, in the, what do you call it, turf? Wet turf. They wet
dirt somewhere under that turf.
They wet this down here today at Memorial Stadium. They had the sprinklers going
For 30 minutes. Right. That's
Are the agronomists here at Nebraska, have they come up with a special formula that we don't know about, trying to grow grass here on the artificial turf?
They're talking about traction. But to me, it'd make it sloppy. I just hate to get back wet on this thing. And if you're playing, it's okay. But, boy, if you're not, it is rough.
If you're playing, it's okay. Huh?
Yeah, if you're playing, it's okay. Body temperature's high.
2nd and 22 for Nebraska. In motion ball. He's rolling out, trying to elude the rush, and again, he just throws it into the turf. Intended for Trumaine Bell, but a good pass rush by Purcell Gaskins.
Well, this is not Nebraska football right now, and you give K-State a lot of credit for it. We talked about in the open, some of the keys would be to force them to throw. Well, they have it. Now they got to make plays, though. They're going to have to come up with an interception, turn this tide around, especially in lieu if JJ's not on the field.
Well, that holding call now looms large, doesn't it, for Nebraska? Tanner talking over with Mitch running. Showing him exactly what he is looking for the next time the Wildcats get their hands on the ball.
Teaching, man. Teaching during the game. I like that.
And the give on 3rd and 22. Calvin Jones, not much doing, maybe a couple of yards. That's it. Niall Wyron makes the stop, and now penalty flags fly. A little extracurricular going on. And boy, if this is against Kansas State, what a silly penalty this would be.
Could go either way. Lance Lundberg just blocked him about 6 yards down the field. Let's see if Lance gets caught with this one.
Boy, the crowd reacted. It looked like it might have been something that Kansas State did, but it might have been the reaction to that late block you were talking about.
Well, Lance kind of kicked him. I mean, Wyron, here's a guy who's 245 pounds. Big Lance tipping the scales at 300 coming at you. You got to defend yourself.
Dead ball, personal foul against Kansas State. That's going to be an automatic first down. What a huge call against Bill Snyder.
Personal foul on the defense. 15 from the end of the run.
And an automatic first down, he forgot to say.
Automatic first down.
Now he did say it.
Well, sometimes you get the raw end of the deal. You watch it here. Here's Big Lance. He's laying on top of him. There's a foot goes out. Kind of steps on him. He throws a blow, and the one thing you can't do, now you can't swing.
Kirby Hocutt gets caught. That's a tough call against Kansas State.
Yeah, can't swing, man.
Tough not to, isn't it, in a case like that when a guy is doing something like trying to trip you downfield on a 2-yard run.
Right, and I gave him more weight than he had. He's 215 pounds. If a 300-pounder comes to me the way Lance did, I think I may have reacted similar.
Mark this play down. That could be a huge turning point in this contest. Kansas State would have gotten the ball back in great field position, but instead it's Nebraska's football. And this is Lawrence Phillips. Phillips, the true freshman out of West Covina, California, takes it along the near side, a pickup of about 6 on first down before Kenny McIntyre could bring him down.
You see a freshman that steps right in and hits the field in Nebraska, you better believe he's special. Had a pretty good game against UCLA a couple of weeks ago in Jones' absence. Solid back.
2nd down, a gain of 8, so it's 2nd and 2 at the 38. Boy, what a huge call against Kansas State. That time the fullback, Schlesinger, bulls his way forward for the first down. Across the 40 to the 41. Purcell Gaskins was hanging on, but Schlesinger had the best of that battle. And there's Himmelowski trying to cheer his club on. He is back on the sidelines. What a haircut, huh? You got it all but a little portion there on the back.
Well, that's what happens when you try to do it yourself.
He could get to it all but that one part.
Well, he made a mistake and just said, what the heck, I'll just cut the rest of it off.
It looks like a big mistake to me. 1st and 10 for the Huskers at the 41. The pitch back to Phillips. Phillips running hard, right side. He picks up another huge gain on 1st down. Another flag comes in.
Well, this is just, I think, refs, this is payback for Nebraska. I think they realized that last one was a bad one.
It might be against Kansas State again, though. Hang on. Well, they're saying maybe it wasn't. Well, the tempers are flaring. It is against Nebraska.
I think Aaron Graham on that. What Nebraska's trying to do right now up front is intimidate K-State. I mean, how dare you come on our turf and come out and play us competitively? These guys aren't really used to being challenged, and they're coming out trying to chip, and K-State won't stand for it.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. 2nd down. 15 yards.
Well, it's payback, but on one hand it's payback perhaps by the officials. On the other hand, the other one hurt Kansas State a whole lot more than this one hurts Nebraska.
Well, it really does, but if you're Nebraska right now, you're just holding on for dear life. They want to get in at halftime and evaluate what's going wrong and get a way to solve it.
8 minutes to go till halftime. 21-14, Nebraska our score. So it's 2nd down now, 18 yards to go for Nebraska. They need to get across midfield to the Kansas State 48. Pitch back to Phillips, and a nice pitch it was. Trying to turn the corner, picks up about 7 or 8 yards. Steve Hanks forces him out of bounds there, but what a pitch by Frazier as he was being dragged down.
The one thing K-State has improved in dramatically is their ability to force Frazier to get rid of the football. Before, they were allowing him to get on the edge, which is deadly, because now you have 2 threats. You have Frazier, the quarterback, Phillips, or Jones. Now they're forcing a quick fit. Now they've got to get that secondary to come up and tackle, and they'll be in good shape.
Now, Duke, we saw Jim Himilewski down on the sideline. What's the story there?
Well, he, of course, was carted off the field on the golf cart with the ice on his knee. Looked like he was done for the day. Now he came walking back out moments ago. No ice on the leg, and he's trying to prove to the trainers that he's ready to go back into the ball game. They're saying, show me you can move, and he's doing it.
Frazier looks to pick up the 1st down and does. Frazier runs for the 1st down when he could not find an open receiver.
We'll give the secondary some credit because they took it away from him. Couldn't get to the itty-bitty crew. Here he looks pretty good pass rush. I mean, you just have to look around once again. Before Kirby got disorientated, he turns around. Frazier, super athlete, finds a way to get to the flag.
I was going to say, you saw number 45, Kirby Hocutt. He lost sight of where the ball was.
Yeah.
He was cutting outside, and all of a sudden, here comes Frazier. Look at that rushing day today for Tommy Frazier. Of course, the big one, a 58-yard run. Now the pressure comes. Frazier eludes the would-be tackle of Sean Dabney, and Frazier gets out of bounds and makes something out of nothing, and a lot out of nothing. What a great move by Tommy Frazier to get away from Sean Dabney in the backfield.
Average quarterback is sacked right there. I mean, there's 50 or 60 quarterbacks today that would have been sacked. This guy just he has it all, and he's not playing with a full deck because the ankle still hurts.
See where they mark it. It's very close to the 1st down marker. They may came over to measure. They are. Might be a 1st down for Nebraska. Well, the Cornhuskers twice on this drive have come up with big 3rd down plays. The one was a personal foul against Kansas State. The other on 3rd and 8. Frazier takes it up for the 1st down. You might have another 1st down here. Let's check the measurement. It is. Frazier is running at will right now against Kansas State. Frazier with 73 yards on just 5 carries.
Well, K-State's plan defensively has worked pretty well right now. They've been able to neutralize the I-backs and really put the onus on the quarterback to make things happen. They force him to throw more, and Nebraska's just not the same football team when they have to put the ball in the air.
Calvin Jones back in there now for the Cornhuskers offensively. He is the lone setback for Nebraska on 1st and 10 from the Kansas State 36. A new play call from Frazier at the line. On the option to Jones. And again, Jones hit after a gain of about 5. Kenny McIntyre makes the stop. Well, Kansas State starting 5-0 for only the 4th time in their history. The previous time the Wildcats have started 5-0. In 1931, they lost to Iowa State 7-6. In 1926, they lost 14-0 to Marquette. And in 1910, the Wildcats won 23-0 at the Missouri School of Mines. There is no such school anymore. That tells you how long ago that was.
A little bit before my time.
A little bit before all our times. Second down, 5 yards to go for Nebraska. They give to Jones. Again, not much room. Gets to the 30-yard line. John Butler wraps him up. And it's going to bring up 3rd and about 4.
When you watch Nebraska's wide receivers, that time Corey Dixon, 30 yards downfield throwing a block. I mean, these guys just keep chipping. But the Wildcats right now defensively, you just got to be proud of these guys. They're sticking in there. They're forcing that run so you get 3 or 4 yards. But sooner or later, good things will happen.
Down 7 right now. This is a big 3rd down for both these clubs, and probably more importantly for Kansas State. It'll be a long field goal attempt from this range for Byron Bennett. He has the leg as long this year of 45. It's in about that range right now. Here comes Frazier. He pitches out. Jones makes the nice catch, and Jones has some room. Jones hurls his way down to the 5. Kenny McIntyre makes the stop, but Jones, the key play there was the catch on the pitch.
Catch on the pitch, and Corey Dixon again, wide receiver number 2. Boys, you watch it. I mean, you talk about an offense, you got an option, you got a quarterback who's very difficult. The offensive line, the point of attack does this job. There's a pitch, as you mentioned, great hands. But look at the top of your screen to your left, folks. That is a wide receiver, guy who's 160 pounds, going out making a big block. It's a double milkshake.
1st and goal from the 4, a 26-yard run from Calvin Jones. Jones again looking for his 3rd touchdown of the day, stopped at the 2. Clock winding down, inside 5 minutes to go in this first half. 4:40 on the clock and counting.
Well, that penalty obviously will result, or should result rather, in some form of point for the Cornhuskers.
Second and goal at the 1. And Levitt trying to encourage his Wildcat defense to come up with a goal line stand. Jones does not get in on 1st try, and on 2nd try might have been pushed back just a little bit. They're going to mark it back at the 3-yard line. That time Kansas State's goal line stand comes through and results in a 1-yard loss for Nebraska.
Boy, guys up front, Butler, Dabney, these guys trench down. When you're in a short yardage situation, you try to make under those guys' pads and just come from all angles and get after people.
What a tackle by Jamie Mendez, too. He stood his ground against Calvin Jones, who weighs 210, and pushed him backwards just a little bit. You see how they measure up. You see the offensive line for Nebraska, 291 pounds. The defense just 250 for the Wildcats. So now 3rd and goal from the 2. Frazier on the option. Frazier looking for the corner. Is he denied? Let's see. He got the nose of the football near the goal line. They haven't made the signal yet. Now they do. The touchdown for Nebraska.
Boy, what a play. Great hit. Mendez coming out of the backfield.
Tommy Frazier shoves the nose of the football across the goal line for the touchdown.
Again, we look at the point of attack where things look pretty decent. You're looking for Mendez. He'll come right there on your screen, makes the hit, doesn't lock up, ball goes over. Oh, yeah, got the entire ball over the plane.
The reason for the late call, the side judge was knocked way out of bounds, had to come back in to make the call. It's a good call, and Nebraska has a 2-touchdown lead now with 3:12 to go till halftime. It's Nebraska 28, K-State 14. Now Tommy Frazier, the sophomore, with his 4th touchdown of the year. This one he takes in from the 2 on a very athletic play by both Mendez and Frazier. And Frazier gets the best of it by getting the nose of the football across the goal line. So Sealer to kick off, and boy, what a boomer with the wind at his back. Coleman will take it in the end zone, and down it there. Nebraska, with the help of a personal foul call and some fine running by Tommy Frazier and Calvin Jones, goes 76 yards on 15 plays. It takes over 6.5 minutes. Frazier with a 2-yard touchdown run. And now Bill Snyder has his work cut out for him, down by 14. And you see what he has done so far. First few years, oh my, they were really getting blitzed by the Cornhuskers. But look, over the last 2 years, all of a sudden Kansas State is playing these Cornhuskers pretty tough.
Yeah, great improvement, but you need a win, baby. You want to win the football game.
And if they're going to win, they're going to have a huge comeback now on enemy turf. This one to Running. Running gets across the 30 up to the 32-yard line. John Reese stops him there.
But I think what they're doing offensively right now is sound. If they can get in now, get 3, or possibly get a touchdown, they're in good position.
You see the clock stopped right now. They stop the clock in college football to move the chains on first down. Once they get them set, they'll restart that clock. Kansas State with 2 timeouts remaining. They would love to get on the board again before the half. And you see Nebraska now with 200 rushing yards today. A big chunk of that by Calvin Jones with 85. This pass complete on the far side. That's Kevin Lockett. And Lockett gets up near midfield. He goes down at the 49. Baron Miles finally brings him down there.
Boy, I don't know what Barron had on his mind that time. It's simple, 2 wide receivers. They try to put the linebacker into it, runs the hitch, and he's just completely out of position. I mean, Miles is supposed to be able to make the play. If you don't go for the ball, go in and make a tackle. That was poor.
Miles made a big play against Oklahoma State. We'll show you that at our halftime here today. Chad May now 9 of 13 on the day. An outstanding day for Chad May, getting the job done through the air. That's the time remaining till halftime. May, little screen pass. JJ couldn't hang on.
Boy, he had something going for him.
And pass incomplete. That stops the clock with 2:27 to go till halftime. These Cornhuskers, a team that averages 278 yards on the ground. The Cornhuskers today already 200 yards on the ground. And the big show for them has been Calvin Jones with 85 and Tommy Frazier with 75. And you see the comparisons between these two clubs. And again, it's Kansas State trying to get more of the job done through the air. Nebraska historically has been one of the best rushing offenses in the country.
Yeah, 2 different personalities.
May checking off at the line. And 2nd and 10. There's movement all over the place. Let's see who it's against. Nebraska is pointing towards Kansas State. Somebody might have moved for the Wildcats.
Campbell.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure. Offense. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Got to be composed on 2-minute offense. Defensive linemen, they're going to watch the ball. They're going to try to get you to jump. That time looks like Campbell, 75, picked that hand up. That's a no-no.
Now he saw Raymakers coming over the line. He thought, uh-oh, I better get ready. But you've got to stay there.
Move, man. You got to hold your water.
2nd and 15 now. And from the shotgun, Chad May. Now we have a stoppage of play because the ball was moving around a little bit. Now the ball just a little bit wet. They'll get a new one. 27 to go till halftime. Well, Snyder wants to get a score on the board before the intermission and get back within a touchdown if he can. Trailing right now by 14. You see his record. Boy, outstanding. You say, wait a minute, he's under 500. Yeah, but before he got to Kansas State, the Wildcats were 136-1 in the years before Bill Snyder.
No, he's done a remarkable job. To recruit and to put a good scheme together. And they have nothing to hold their head down about it. If they don't hurt themselves, they can get in this game.
Pass is caught by Coleman. An acrobatic catch right at midfield. Hit down immediately by Tyrone Williams. And now it's going to bring up 2nd down and make it 3rd down and 9.
3 receivers to the wide side, and what you're trying to do now is run some games with the 3 receivers. The 3 amigos, this time inside receiver breaks out. Real nice pitch and catch. Goes up, brings it in. Kind of like him to get out of bounds. I like to see him take a shot, throwing a deep one as well.
Under 2 minutes to go first half. You see the time remaining. And it's 3rd and 9. Play action. May rolling out, has room and has time and has Coleman.
boy. Well, I guess they're listening. They want them to go deep, man. They're going for it.
Andre Coleman, 5 catches today, 81 yards. Watch number 2, top of your screen.
Well, you just can't give again the offensive line. They move the pocket, which creates time. And this time, May cranks it up. He breaks right into this. I mean, when you hit a receiver and he doesn't have to break stride, doesn't get any better than that.
Coleman, who wasn't it him that was saying, hey, they can't stop us today?
Well, wide receivers,
haven't stopped Coleman. 81 yards on 5 catches. J.J. Smith trying to turn the corner. Cannot. John Reese right there.
Big tackle by Reese.
The clock not really a factor because Kansas State still has 2 timeouts remaining. And with this fast break offense you're talking about, if you're Kansas State, you probably want to chew up some of that clock.
Well, I just want to score. I think get in the end zone, then figure out all that strategy later. Because if they hold you to 3 right now, the black shirts win this one.
2nd and goal at the 4. Now again, they call time. 54 seconds to go. Timeout called. This one, I believe, called by Nebraska. It was. The Cornhuskers use a timeout here. Bill Snyder's group are resilient today, aren't they? Have trailed throughout after the first fumble by Chad May on the Wildcats' first offensive play. Nebraska took it in for the score, but Kansas State has come back with a couple of scores of their own. Trail by 14 right now, but threatening. Well, don't forget, next Saturday, the prime turf battle is heating up in the SEC. Hard-hitting action from the Deep South highlights next weekend's gridiron lineup. Live next Saturday on most of these Prime Network affiliates. Kansas State, they have 2 timeouts remaining. So do the Cornhuskers. 2nd and goal at the 4. With Duke Fry and Rick Walker, I'm Dave Armstrong. We're at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Both these clubs 5-0 on the year. Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator of the Cornhuskers, trying to keep the Wildcats out of the end zone here.
Well, I think you got to look at the getting the ball in J.J. Smith's hands, maybe possibly by option. Force the defense, pick a side. I might run away from 12 Alberts. Now, they ran at him prior series and got a touchdown. But I definitely want to give him a double option run pass.
Cornhusker band patiently waiting for the halftime festivities. Chad May, maybe not so patient. He wants to get into the end zone right now. 54 seconds to go before the intermission. 2nd and goal from the 4, and listen to the noise. Pitch back. J.J. wants to throw. Throws back. Chad May. It's picked off. Picked off by Williams.
Well, we talk about run pass, and they actually went to a run pass. But there's certain rules of thumb when you're in offensive football and you're talking about in the red area. One is that if you pass, you throw the ball outside to where my guy gets it or nobody gets it. This time, J.J., right there you can tell, hey, he's not running. That's an option. He kind of gives it away, throws off his back foot. He wasn't prepared to make that pass. And it's ill-advised. You just cannot afford to do this, especially when you're trailing. Ground this time. May get him on top. Look at him right there. Now, you got to get the sense that maybe something's up, some kind of gadget, and then you just throw it up for grabs.
Isn't that one, though, that you throw and you make sure it's good? You don't throw something up for grabs in a situation like that.
That's the rule. My guy gets it or it goes out of bounds.
Right. But instead, J.J. throws the interception. That's his first pass of the year and his first interception, obviously. So Chad May, J.J. Smith collecting their thoughts now on the Kansas State bench. And Nebraska has the football back, leading by 14. And you see the time remaining in this first half. Kansas State now calls a timeout with 31 seconds to go. And Tom Osborne has to be happy with the way things transpired there. His club right there on the goal line makes the great defensive play by Tyrone Williams, his first interception of the year.
You're right. Charlie McBride, these guys are going, boy, we dodged one on that.
Well, that KSU bench, Duke Fry, it's got to be a little dejected right now.
Boy, what a change in the last couple of minutes. Prior to that play down at the goal line, they were just fired up. Everybody's saying it's going to be 6, it's going to be 6. It's almost dead silent over here on this side after the interception.
And a big chore now for Bill Snyder to try to get them fired up at halftime.
Yeah, he's good at that. These kids, they believe they can play. Snyder has done a super job. If you look at that first defensive series of the game, 3 and punt, that lets you know where they were from a defensive standpoint. They hurt themselves offensively, but they've never quit, and I still believe they're in the football game.
Second turnover for the Wildcats today. The first one, a fumble by Chad May. That time the interception by the Wildcats. Second down, 8 yards to go. Now Frazier wants to put it up. And he has Abdul Muhammad up at the 35-yard line. Hit hard by Jamie Mendez as soon as he caught the football. Again, they'll stop the clock to move the chains. Nebraska going for the jugular here.
Boy, that's got to have killer instinct. I think it's out of respect for the Wildcats. They realize that this football team is tough to deal with. If you could get a score now, even 3 points, is really a kick in the stomach.
From the shotgun, Frazier. Oh, it's almost picked off and then caught by Muhammad. Kenny McIntyre had it in his hands, and it went right to Abdul Muhammad.
And you don't get plays like that. You got to convert these. Boy, watch. McIntyre's kind of drifting back. I mean, it would have been a difficult catch, but either you catch it or knock it down. Another rule. You know, defensive back. I get it. Nobody gets it.
The Wildcats aren't playing by the rules right now, are they? And they're down by 14. 28-14 our score. 14 seconds to go till halftime. Here comes Gaskins on the pressure. Muhammad, hey, right now, Nebraska's in field goal range. They've gotten it down to the 31-yard line, and Muhammad will signal a timeout. Muhammad now with 4 catches on the day for 58 yards.
Well, the Wildcats are gambling. They're calling times out, trying to get the ball back, but you got to stop somebody. You cannot afford to let an athlete like that sit in the seam.
And now what do? You've got 8 seconds to go. You still have 1 timeout remaining. Do you run one more play, or do you go ahead and try the field goal now? And you have time probably for one more if you get rid of it quickly.
If you run a corner, you know, run a 7 on either side, try to get it to where, again, the ball is either drops in, your receiver gets it, or it goes out of bounds.
Tom Osborne, who picked up his 200th career win. Amongst active coaches, he trails just Joe Paterno and Bobby Bowden of Florida State. Joe Paterno, of course, with Penn State. Osborne they're all chasing Bear Bryant. And Osborne said he probably won't stay around long enough to catch the Bear. He said it would take about 11 more years. He doesn't figure to be coaching that much longer, but he said, I don't have any plans right now. He said, I'm really hoping to coach for some time. You'll catch an interview with Tom Osborne today at halftime. We'll talk to him quite a bit about his 200th victory.
Right now, I think he just wants to put these Wildcats away.
Frazier, the quick drop, wants to make the quick play, and he just throws it away.
Well, there it is. I mean, that's what you do. Either I get the ball in outside, either out of bounds, or I come in and kick it.
So you got 3 seconds to go. The clock stops anyway. Don't even need to use your timeout. And it will be Byron Bennett coming on. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like they're going to mark it at around the 38. It would be a 48-yard attempt. This would be his longest of the year. He had a 45-yard field goal earlier this season. And this would give Nebraska a commanding 17-point lead going into the locker room. Bennett this year 5 of 6 on field goals. With the wind at his back. It is up, and it looks good. It is. And boy, did he have enough leg. Man, he might have boomed it home from 60. And the Cornhuskers take advantage of both turnovers by the Wildcats. One they turn into a touchdown. The second one, the 48-yard field goal from Byron Bennett, his longest of the year. And the Huskers are thrilled as they dance off into their locker room at the half with a 17-point lead over Kansas State. Now, the Wildcats were game in the first half, but Nebraska was better. The Cornhuskers 31, the Wildcats 14. Well, Nebraska with a 17-point lead at the half, 31-14 our score. If Kansas State had to play flawless in the first half, that's doubly true in the second half. The pollsters really like both the Cornhuskers and the Wildcats. Nebraska ranked number 5 on the CNN USA Today poll, and Kansas State ranked for the first time since 1970.
Well, it's nothing like getting recognition nationally. We talked about it in the open. They've been trying to fight for identity in the Big 8, and this says a lot for your program.
Well, it sure does. Kansas State now back to receive. It's J.J. Smith. There, you're looking at him there, number 22. The other one, Andre Coleman, number 2. Tom Sealer to kick off for the Cornhuskers. The second half about to start. Cornhuskers have the wind at their back in the third quarter. There's not a lot of wind here in Lincoln today. That one sails into the end zone, though, and J.J. will down it there. A lot of heads down right now for the Wildcats. That last field goal by the Cornhuskers really took the wind out of the sails of the Wildcats, and now it's up to Chad May and Bill Snyder to try to get their daubers up.
Well, we'll find out what happens. The key is that coaches want you to forget all about the first half. Come out, start at 0-0 in your mind, and see if you can win this.
That's easier said than done sometimes, though, isn't it?
It is, but a great motivator. I mean, Snyder's shown us so far he's one of the best.
We've said before that they believe they can play. Well, they believe they can win. J.J. Smith saying that this game important for their national championship drive. That's the kind of attitude that Bill Snyder has instilled in these Wildcats. The quick hitter, and that's incomplete. Intended for Lockett. He didn't hang on, trying to run before he caught it. Ed Stewart was right there and maybe made Lockett think a little bit before he caught.
Well, that's not how you want to start things off. I mean, you're in the one-back offense. This is a team that likes to throw a little bit, but it all comes down to toughness. Here you watch the double side. It almost looks like a pick. You know, you kind of come in, and really it is, but they don't coach it that way, but it ends up working if he catches the football.
2nd and 10 for Kansas State. Smith, you see from this angle, the only setback, and now Smith will go nearer the quarterback. So Kansas State is scrapping the run and going to the air. Wide open down the middle, Andre Coleman. He caught it. No, incomplete. Coleman looked to make the catch at the 48-yard line, but they rule it incomplete. Troy Dumas was there with the coverage.
That would have been a separate. It's been a great catch. Watch at the bottom right there. It looks like the hands are on it there. It's almost against his leg, and I think then the thrust of Dumas kind of knocks it out.
Would have been some kind of shoestring catch, but it's ruled incomplete. Now 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats.
Not good news for the Cats. Man, I like to see J.J. Smith on the ground.
And the quick hitter to Coleman. He's looking for the first down, has it, stays inbounds, now goes out of bounds, out at the 37-yard line. Nice running catch by Andre Coleman. Well, Coleman today outstanding. 6 catches, 97 yards.
Boy, he is nifty, but this Russian roulette offense, you don't want to be in 3rd and 10, especially backed up in your own numbers. You want to come out, somebody's got to make a play, as you mentioned Coleman does. He just has a knack for it. Whenever you're running across a defense, it's going to allow you the chance to get open, especially if you can break a tackle. Here that's pretty good.
Well, Alberts and Stewart knocked Chad May into June on that last play.
Well, he got kisses last week. That's a kiss from the Cornhuskers.
Here comes Alberts again. He gets it away to J.J. Smith, incomplete. And oh boy, Chad May is really hit hard by Alberts. May getting up very slowly.
It's the 3rd time now that they've tried to do something to get away from Trev, but you're going to have to put a helmet on Trev Alberts. You can't let this guy go virtually unblocked and go full hit of steam into your quarterback unless you got a lot of backups.
And now the backup is Brian Cavanaugh, a freshman for Kansas State.
Well, I think I'd put a hat on him.
2nd and 10. Here the Cornhuskers with 28 quarterback sacks. Their record 48. We're just 20 shy of that. May again Alberts. Trev Alberts has come alive.
That's numero 10, baby. I'm confused now, Dave. I don't understand what they're trying to get done.
School record for Trev Alberts now. His 10th quarterback sack.
But Barrett's just not in a good position to try to get a hat on him. Give Nebraska some credit. They put him in that wide split to puts the advantage on him. He's a real athletic guy who comes in and picks up the sack.
Albert's quoted as saying he really loves this 4-3. Gives him a lot of freedom.
Puts him out on the island.
3rd and 20. And now J.J. busted up the middle. J.J. Smith across the 40, up to the 42-yard line. Well shy, though, of the first down. Ed Stewart brings him down there. So J.J. Smith running hard, but he needed 20 for the first down and does not get it. Up to the 41. He'll fall about 6 yards shy of the first down marker.
Well, you can say what you want, but I just disagree with the strategy on that. You come out, I'd run the ball. I mean, J.J. is clearly, their best shot at success in this. And you mess around, try to throw too much, and you end up punting, put the ball back in the hands of the Red.
Corey Dixon back deep for the Huskers. Chad Romano, his 3rd punt of the day. Kick. It's going to take a Kansas State bounce. Now a neutral bounce, and it's stopped dead at the 27-yard line. A 32-yard punt. Tommy Frazier now will come out and guide the attack. This might be one of the best games Frazier has had. Look at that, 7 of 14, no interceptions. The touchdown, 123 yards through the air, 76 more on the ground. That's quite a 1-2 punch.
I think a lot has to do with his health. He has not been 100% all year. The ankle has had some time. They've kept him out of practice, and obviously it has paid off.
And now you do expect Nebraska to run the ball. Leading by 17. Here's Jones. Again, not much room for Jones up the middle. Kansas State doing a good job in keying on Calvin Jones today. And still, he has rushed for 89 yards.
That's what makes him such a great back. We talk about, hey, it's not a lot, but you get 2 or 3 yards on first down, and boy, up front. That's what offensive line, when they match up on you, it is tough to knock him out of the box, but he takes the whole team to bring him down.
Wildcats defense probably thinking to themselves, we cannot allow any more points. If we're going to be in this game, our offense has got to be given the luxury of not having to come from too far back. Already 17-point deficit.
And especially nothing cheap.
Frazier cuts it back. Going to pick up about 3 more. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 or 4. Kirby Hocup, the middle linebacker, and John Butler, the defensive end, make the stop.
Big guys up front again just starting to match people, and that is definitely what Nebraska's trademark has been. And I bet you in halftime somebody read him the riot act.
You think about the Cornhuskers through the years, and they've had some tremendous running backs like Rozier, Jeff Smith, now Calvin Jones. Lost Derek Brown to the NFL, the New Orleans Saints, but overall you would have to say they are more known for their offensive line than anything else through the years here at Nebraska.
Well, look at the Outland Trophy winners. I mean, a lot of it has to go with a rich tradition, but also those I-backs, because you can have big guys up front, but you got to have somebody in the back to chalk up the yards.
And Coleman will go back. Colston was the one that put the pressure on that last play. Coleman is a dangerous one. Hasn't been able to get loose today. Byron Bennett will be punting with the wind at his back. A long punt this year for him, 55 yards. Bennett has been applauded by the Husker coaching staff this year, and he said, this is not a surprise to me. He said, I'm punting again like I was in high school. And that one kind of off the side of his foot. Coleman lets it drop and then gets out of the way. And that punt rolls out of bounds at the 26-yard line. 11:31 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 31-14 Huskers. We're in Lincoln with Nebraska leading at 31-14 as we head down to the sidelines and Duke Fry.
Thanks, Dave. Well, I was just listening in on the sidelines a moment ago. Barrett Brooks, who was beaten twice in the last series by Trev Alberts, who came from the outside for those sacks, was telling Coach Bill Snyder he can't turn his head in and listen for the checkoffs that Chad May is calling at the line of scrimmage and still get outside far enough for Alberts. Alberts has got that great speed. He lines up so wide, he's just shooting by Brooks before he can back off the line.
And that makes a lot of sense. Well, what he's got to do, it's a feel thing. I mean, one, he can't panic because Trev is lined up so far outside, and he would just relax on it and go off. He can't go off his guard's movement. I think he'd be in a pretty good position, but I'd like to see him throw his body around a little bit.
And we'll watch it closely now. Again, he's trying to listen in to Chad May, checking off of the line. 1st and 10 at the 26 for the Wildcats. time did a good job on Alberts. And the pass complete to Kevin Lockett. Lockett hit hard by Toby Wright. 21-yard pass play. First down, K-State.
Boy, it is not easy to throw that ball 21 yards across his face. Here he gets going, look a little bit like a frozen rope. He gets it down, he's right in the dead zone. Whenever you're going up against a zone, there's always a free pocket if you've got the guts to stand in there and take the hit after the catch.
Lockett, a freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Wildcats near midfield. Wildcats have not scored since the 14:03 mark of the second quarter. Here comes Alberts, a little pitch into J.J. Smith. He's got it inside Nebraska territory down to the 40-yard line, but Chad May was met by Trev Alberts again as he released the football.
Good play. That's one way to help your offensive lineman. You know, you guys, you want to help a guy out, run a play at a strong upfield rusher like Trev Alberts. This time, boy, this is stealing. Although it may have a little grab right there. He got away with that when Smith takes it up and gets some pretty good yardage.
First down, Kansas State at the 40 of Nebraska. Looks like May is calling every play now at the line. And the crowd not helping him. J.J. Smith running, still running. The flag is down as he goes out of bounds at the 31.5-yard line. John Reese forced him out. Might be a hold inside. This is what you were saying, though. Let's get the ball to J.J. Smith and run the football. Kansas State successful on the ground right now.
I would have put the ball in his hands at halftime.
It is the hold, though, against the Wildcats. That'll bring that play back.
I think now we should count how many flags go down. How many flags go down against the Wildcats? How many turnovers? How they hurt themselves? If they stay, they're to get back in this football game, they're going to have to play real smart football.
That one pushes it back, negates the gain, and gets the 10-yard loss as we get on to Duke Fry.
Dave, the same thing that Kansas State was doing last week against KU, they're doing this week. They're not checking off. They're waiting to the line of scrimmage oftentimes to make the play call. Chad May will look to the sidelines. The coaches up in the box are making the offensive call and radioing it in so that the quarterbacks give the hand signals for the call.
May wants to go deep. Did Lockett make that catch?
Oh.
Yes! Wow!
Oh, boy. 201 on the wow meter.
You guys, I'm going to get you all for that.
That is a good throw and catch.
Boy, a perfect throw right on target to Kevin Lockett.
Well, the key with Lockett is that his explosion. Boy, he sold that up. He sold that route and came back and forth. Freshman, to have that kind of discipline in the pass route says a lot. He was a top 50 recruit. We're talking about a blue chipper, and now you see why. Gets up, good body control, has the presence of mind, keeps the feet in. Very difficult to do that. This guy's a freshman.
Remember, just 1 foot, all that's necessary in college football. 1 foot in, and he had that. Here's J.J.'s got the first down and more. Dancing around inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. Terry Keneally makes the stop there for the Huskers. Another first down. They'll move the chains again, and much to the delight of the sidelines here for the Wildcats. Here you see the signals coming in from the backup quarterbacks.
Well, what it usually is called, or referred to rather, by his check with me. He can get on the line. He knows he's going to do one thing or another, and he gets up right there and just lets his troops know we're going to do this: either run right, run left, or pass.
First and 10 at the 27. May on the option. Smith has got it. Tries to elude the would-be tackle of Ernie Beeler, but Ernie did a good job of staying right there. It looked like it was a play that was kind of jump-started there, and there's a flag down. Might be a procedure called. Barrett Brooks looked to be dancing just a little bit, number 73 for Kansas State.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Barrett Brooks, watch 73.
Well, it really hurts you because it's play away. I mean, you don't want it no time, but you definitely don't want it on backside. You know what I mean?
Because he's not there to really help.
Yeah, he's not at the point of attack. And he's trying to get a back cutoff block. You enjoy his enthusiasm, his hustle, but you got to play this game upstairs.
Again, we talk about the point you made about penalties and Kansas State needing to play more mistake-free. May, little soft touch, pull. the catch. There is a flag down. Coleman makes a brilliant catch. Now, is this against Coleman or is it against Nebraska?
No, I think this would be against the Cornhuskers.
I do too. Coleman was trying to break free of the defensive back, and Coleman grabs it at the 1. Remember, he is down at the 1-yard line. He rolled into the end zone, but he is down where he lands.
Toby Wright was the defender, and what happens, boy, the acceleration, the makeup speed, once that ball was in the air, I mean, that's one of those things you don't coach. The guy either has it or he doesn't.
Holding on the defense, decline, first down.
First and goal at the 1. Watch him, number 2, right there, middle of your screen.
What happens is an out and up, and Toby realizes that he's going to lose on this. He goes out and tries to grab him, and I don't blame him.
And we'll watch number 73, Barrett Brooks, on Trev Albert.
Oh, man. So you got those feet square. I like that.
First and goal at the 1. J.J. Smith still at the 1 now for Kansas State. He is hit right at the 1-yard line. But Chad May having a big day for K-State. 16 of 24, 302 yards through the air.
Got to get points, though. Got to get points.
Need the touchdown here, not just
definitely.
the field goal. Here, you're that close to the end zone as you saw Chad May and Charlie McBride hoping his black shirts can keep the Wildcats out of the end zone here.
Well, the last time they were this close, Wildcats decided to get cute. This time, I think you put the ball once again in the hands of 22 and run right off that right tackle.
No tricks, maybe treats here for Kansas State.
And they go left side.
J.J. Smith, touchdown, Wildcats. J.J. Smith goes into the end zone for the 3rd time today, twice on the ground, and the Wildcat fans are applauding again. Kansas State, don't count them out just yet.
Well, just good idea on that play calling. I think they got out of some of those passes and decided to get back. And, hey, it's still smash mouth. It's still a tough guy. Always wins when you're playing football. This time he goes airborne. Good people at the point of attack, getting those jerseys, getting those numbers square, and you get a score.
So J.J. Smith, 2 touchdowns on the ground today, 8 for the year. Another touchdown through the air. That was his first of the year. He has all the points for Kansas State except for the extra points by Tate Wright. So the Wildcats score first here in the 3rd quarter. J.J. Smith gets another one, his 3rd of the day, as he said, and it's Nebraska 31-21. Homecoming here at Nebraska. The Cornhuskers leading at 31-21, but the Wildcats are clawing their way back into things with another touchdown by J.J. Smith. 9:13 left to go, 3rd quarter. Now plenty of time left in the contest. Now back deep for the Huskers, Corey Dixon and Reggie Ball. Dixon on the right, Ball on the left. And to kick off for the Wildcats, that's Warren Clausen, number 39.
Well, the key was K-State's defense that forced the Big Red Machine to punt initially. I mean, if they're going to win it, they're going to have to win it with their defense.
I think another key, too, is they did run the ball effectively. Ball has it 1 yard deep. Ball hit right at the 20-yard line, loses the football. It comes loose, and Kansas State might have another. They're saying down on contact now. Kansas State recovered the football, but they're saying it's dead on contact at the 22-yard line.
Boy, that would have been all they needed. Boy, special teams is always a part. Good football teams always get an advantage with special teams.
That's a good call by the official there as the ball came loose after it hit the turf. The scoring drive for the Wildcats, 2:18, 74 yards in 8 plays. Smith with his 3rd touchdown of the day, 2 of them on the ground. Now we'll see if the Cornhusker offense can get kick-started again. Frazier is ridden down. Wow, what a play by Kansas State. Dirk Oaks comes up and makes the big play and shoves Tommy Frazier all the way back. They're going to mark him down at the 15. A loss of 5 officially.
That was a physical play. Dirk on this one. I mean, at some point, you just got to whip the guy in front of you. That time, he eludes 2 blockers. Comes out, I don't know what Corey Schlesinger had on his mind because he passed him up. You usually don't ever want to pass up color. He does on that time. His quarterback paid for it.
They mark it at the 16. It looked like on that replay, Oaks hit him at the 14 and shoved him back. And anyway, a good spot for the Cornhuskers. A loss of 4, 2nd and 16. Now Frazier forced to throw with plenty of time. Across the middle, in and out of the hands of Corey Dixon. Dixon was wide open.
Boy, it really was. This young man, he just blocks his rear end off. He's a total team player. This is the shot where they were going, hey, Corey, thanks for blocking. Now we're going to put the pill in your hands. Comes in, runs a real nice in, goes up for it, just doesn't get in.
No excuse there. That's a ball that should be caught.
Yeah,
right?
no, he's a talented athlete. He'll catch that 9 out of 10 times.
So now 3rd and long, and Kansas State with some momentum now hopes to stop the Huskers right here.
One thing about the Nebraska offense, if they fail on 1st down, they're at a heck of a disadvantage because then they try to make it all up in one play throwing.
And here comes the rush. Gaskins sacks him behind the line at the 10-yard line. Purcell Gaskins.
Well, he's their big hitter. Woo! State people glad they took the trip at this point.
Well, the Wildcats are growling right now, both offensively and defensively. Nebraska not only 3 and out, but they lose 10 yards on that series.
Here's a guy that has great speed, runs 4.3 in the 40, so you don't want to let this guy turn the corner unblocked. Also, great high jumper, 7.5 and a quarter, has a K-State record. Super athlete, getting production out of him.
Coleman in the 50-yard line. Ooh, almost blocked there. And a big punt by Bennett, shoving Coleman all the way back to his own 30. What was he doing just standing there?
I don't know. That was a real poor effort on the part of Coleman. Number one, catch the football and then go north-south and make up some of that real estate.
A 61-yard punt by Byron Bennett, his longest of the year. Bennett, feeling the pressure coming, booms one out of the end zone, 61 yards. Boy, that's a huge play for the special teams of the Cornhuskers.
All right, now watch that fire up the defense.
Fired up the crowd, too. Wildcats have it. 1st down at their own 32. May telling the official, I can't hear.
Well, they'll take him out of that check with me. You know, Nebraska has the big numbers every week, but it's not one of the crowd that scares you. You know, they don't get the noise factor. Big numbers, but really it's not that intimidating.
That sounded pretty noisy.
Well, that was. But I mean, for a whole game, these folks expect to win. It's kind of hard to get them motivated.
A lot of these folks have been around for years and years.
Oh, Duke.
Well, Duke Fry is in the midst of that crowd. Duke, how much noise are they making down there?
Well, I'm over here in the far corner with the K-State crowd, and I have Chad May's parents, Jim and Marla. They're not only here for this ball game, they are here for 4 weeks. Now, you've made the entire month of October a trip to Kansas, right?
Yeah, definitely did that. We wouldn't miss this for the world.
Your son's having a great ball game today.
Oh, yeah, I'm really glad I'm here for this one.
Now, you're going to be here for the next 3, or next 2, I should say. You were here for the Kansas game as well?
For the Kansas game, we'll be here for the Colorado and the Oklahoma game.
You obviously aren't working much this month.
No, not this month at all. No, I'm not even thinking about work right now.
Mom, are you nervous here?
Yes, I sure am. But I know he's playing a good game, so I'm proud of him.
Good luck the rest of the way. Now, there's some parental support for you. They're here for the month, all the way from California.
Next time we have a timeout for crowd noise, we'll assess a timeout against Nebraska.
They've warned them twice now, so the next time they have to warn this crowd, it will not be a warning. It will be a timeout assessed against the Cornhuskers.
That's one way to get them down.
And now, instead of wild cheers, we hear the boos for the guys in the stripes. If I'm Chad May, I stand there and say, hey, look, I can't call a play again.
Absolutely.
Crowd, no, not nearly as loud as it was. Kansas State fans are picking up the tempo. May. It's Coleman. He gets out of the tackle. Coleman out of bounds. 1st down at the 43-yard line.
He's such a different athlete as a receiver in terms of a punt returner. He looks a little timid as a punt returner, but boy, you put the ball in his hands as a receiver, and this guy makes things happen. Again, nothing real fancy, kind of simple. I think he drops back, kind of looks him off a little bit, crossing route, puts the ball in his hands, he breaks it. The guy's not that big, but boy, 170 pounds, and he breaks tackles.
The numbers on Coleman today, new career highs for him. What a huge day Coleman is having. He might have been a little bit shaken up on that last play, trying to break out of that tackle.
Yeah, sometimes what will happen is that you stretch a groin. Momentum has a shade of purple on it, my friend.
And you see the backup quarterback, number 12, is Brian Cavanaugh, the backup. The other backup, number 16, Craig Manson, calling the plays in for the Wildcats. First and 10 at the 42. Crowd making a lot of noise again, making it hard on Chad May. And now movement on the part of the line for Kansas State. It looked like Eric Clayton, number 76, moved a little bit early. The play clock down to 0 on that.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5 yards with 2 first downs.
Looks like Campbell once again. Offensive lineman, you cannot pick that hand up. Once you do it, man, the defense is just absolutely open field on it, and they'll come at you. One thing we always tried to do with the Redskins was that when you go in a hostile environment, was really just simplify things and get away from the check with me's that you would have to stretch all the way across the line of scrimmage and run the football. Again, that's a remedy to this crowd. Get the ball in the hands of Smith.
Again, Chad May looking back for help, and I can't hear again. Neither can my guys, and now he calls a timeout. Oh, that's costly to Kansas State.
I can't believe he did that.
Chad May calls the timeout, so it works in the Cornhuskers' favor, all this noise. Right now, the Huskers lead by 10.
See?
Thanks, Dave. As far as the injury situation on Purcell Gaskins, it looked like he may have broken the thumb because he had some blood in the area around his glove that he was wearing, but he said he popped it out, bent it back. They have padded it, taped it all up. I said, are you going back in? He said, you bet.
Third down, 27. The ball is
Well, we'll see if he gets back in there quickly, or will Kansas State keep this drive alive? It is 3rd and 27 for the Wildcats. Quick hitter. That's not going to do much. Kevin Lockett's got it. Maybe gained a yard. Maybe. Ed Stewart again right there defensively.
Now 0 for 3 with that play. You know, you go deep on that, just like a punt. Worst thing that happened to you is they intercept it, but you're going to punt anyway. Because at least you get a shot. You know, I don't understand. You throw in the knee for a 2 or 3 yard pass, and you need to pick up 20.
So Corey Dixon and Kareem Moss, number 1 on the far side of your screen, waiting for the punt of Chad Romano.
correction.
That's a good one from Romano. The wind at his back. Moss takes it at his own 33.
No fair catch. I like that.
And a penalty flag down as he is hauled down at the 40-yard line. And the punt taken at the 33-yard line, a 40-yard punt. Osborne not happy at all because of the penalty against the Husker return team.
I like those guys that just never fair catch.
Yeah, with you coming down on him on a special teams, right? don't raise your arm. I got a good shot at you.
Please don't lift that, yeah.
So Osborne looking for career victory number 201. This will shove the Huskers back. Huskers have yet to score in the second half. Scored a bunch in that first half. 31 points for Nebraska.
Push in the back on the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10.
14-12 to go in the ball game. The Huskers leading by 10. They'll start back at their own 26-yard line. First down for Tommy Frazier's had an outstanding day for the Huskers, both on the ground and through the air. Look at the Huskers have used the ground attack for this 10-point lead. Bill Snyder was saying that Nebraska does not get near the acclaim they deserve, and I agree with him. Alvin Jones up to the 30. Kirby Hokett makes the stop.
You got to play defense against Nebraska. I guarantee they get your attention.
Alvin Jones closing in on 100 yards today. Nebraska trying to win for the 25th straight time against the Wildcats. The last time the Wildcats beat the Huskers was the last time that Nebraska did not go to a bowl game, 24 years ago. Frazier cuts it inside of Purcell Gaskins and out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
Boy, Lance Lundberg had a real good block on that. The key to a lot of this is just getting those skill people on the edge, and that's one thing that Nebraska has been real good at doing.
Frazier hobbling again. This is not good news for Nebraska.
Also, watch the key on this, the bottom of your screen. Now, we give Tremaine Bill a lot of credit as a good receiver. He also got a good block on that. He chipped in on the linebacker and allowed Frazier to turn that corner and pick up some good real estate.
Frazier is still not walking. Frazier is hurt, and it might be Brooke Behringer, the sophomore out of Goodland, Kansas, coming into the contest for the Huskers.
That time Mendez kind of rolled off on it. That got him right there. Mendez right there. I mean, right at the end of the deal, right about there. Kind of caught it under.
So Frazier hobbles off. And number 18, Brooke Behringer, we're looking for him now in the Husker lineup. Frazier, who has been hampered by an ankle injury all year. Not only has it hurt him game-wise, he has played every game, but it has also hurt Frazier practice-wise.
Well, it's hurt the offense practice-wise because of his lack of presence there. You can't get timing when your starter's not playing.
And Behringer comes into the fray now with the Huskers leading by 10. His charge is to try to get some more rushing yards for Calvin Jones and keep this offense on the field. First down for Nebraska, the ball at the 41-yard line. Behringer trips as he hands off, and no gain there for the Huskers. Big number 78, Sean Dabney, and number 9, Purcell Gaskins, right there to meet him. Levitt really likes Gaskins. Man, he takes the field, he hits the field running. And Dabney, the senior, getting back the starting job.
Well, those guys, they entered the game. They realized that if their front seven didn't play well, this would have long been over, but they have. They stood up to the challenge, playing good football. You know, Behringer, one thing about Frazier's absence in practice has been good for him.
Yeah, he's got a lot more snaps in practice. 2nd and 10. Again, the give to Calvin Jones, busting it outside. Jones with a seam. A big gain all the way down to the 46 of Kansas State.
Oh, boy. Lester Johnson once again with a brutal block out on the edge. Well, these Cornhuskers outside, it's really good. It just tickles me to death to watch these guys block downfield because, you know, we had a chance to watch them practice. Look at that hit right there. They talk about this thing. They go in and they chip. That's another milkshake. It's 3 milkshakes I think these backs ought to be buying after this game.
Lester Johnson. So Jones now over 100 yards on the day, 110. Jones again, adding to that total. Not much gain there. A lot of the yards that Jones has picked up have been in 3- and 4-yard chunks today.
He's had to earn it. I mean, he's a marked man. It was one thing very obvious that K-State was not going to get beat by Jones single-handedly. What happened was they couldn't contain Frazier. But now with Behringer in, things change. You can put more of attention on Jones.
Osborne trying to keep the clock moving. It's under 12 minutes now. He's trying to keep his offense out there on the field and keep Kansas State away from the football. It helps, too, when you're Tom Osborne, to have one of the best rushing attacks in the country. Jones spinning, twisting, moving on down to the 38-yard line. Helps, too, to have one of the best running backs in the country.
Well, good things happen when you can run the football. I mean, you're chewing up the clock, which now becomes a factor. It's just it's an internal deal. You start feeling superior within yourself. Hey, we can knock these guys off the ball, and you start watching them. They'll start getting demoralized. You got big people. I just think there's no minuses in my book.
It's a real plus right now to be able to run the ball, but how about when you're way down and your only attack is rushing? That makes it a little bit more difficult.
Well, then you just don't get down. You know what I
mean? Okay, that's a good plan. 3rd and 2. Pitch back, Jones. Looking for the first down. I don't know. Good hit from the outside. Came from Kenny McIntyre, and he might have stopped Jones shy of the first down. He did.
I think he did. Great defensive play.
So now do you go for it here? You're in 4-down territory, perhaps at the 37.
Boy, McIntyre, you know, we were talking a lot about the wide receivers from Nebraska, and Coach Ron Brown gets those guys fired up. But that time, McIntyre said, no way, I won't be denied.
Big play here, 4th and 1. Double tight ends in for Nebraska.
Oh, I'd go for it big time.
Jones, we've got a penalty flag down. He's got the first down unless
he had movement up front. My line average is 300 pounds.
That is motion against the Huskers.
I'd be playing a lot of 4-down offense.
Now you've got to punt it, right? You're going into the wind. You're out of field goal range. So it's 4th down and a long 6 now for Tom Osborne and the Huskers. So Coleman goes back at his own 10-yard line. Myron Bennett will be punting, trying to lift one up into the wind and do exactly what Chad Romano did for Kansas State, get it inside the 10. The rush was coming. Bennett gets it off and angling it for the corner. Oh my!
Who blew that?
It goes into the end zone.
My goodness.
Toby Wright was standing right there and let it bounce into the end zone. Bennett is livid. Thought he had a perfect one, the coffin corner, and it is not good for Nebraska. It goes to the 20-yard line for Kansas State. 31-21 Huskers. Well, Toby Wright could have pinned the Wildcats back at the 1-yard line. Let's watch the end of this.
You're always coached to get to the end zone line and then work your way. Put your back to the end zone line, and that way you can protect it and see it and push it back to guys coming in. That time he did none of the above and really cost his football team a chance to make a big play.
And Bennett thought he had one that was perfect as we get on to pretty perfect Duke Fry.
The Dukester.
Well, thanks, Dave. Here's the update on Tommy Frazier. He came to the sideline. The team doctor looked at him, checked over the foot. He said, is it the same spot you've been hurting? He said, yeah, it's same high ankle sprain. They taped him up to give it some more support. He said, walk it for a while and we'll see if you can go back in.
He's got the helmet on, standing next to the coach. He may be coming back in. 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 20-yard line, trailing by 10. The quick hitter to Lockett. Lockett, given some room, has the first down up to the 32-yard line. Baron Miles makes the stop, but a gain of 12.
Well, you can get 12 yards on a first down play with a quick out. You know, it says a lot for your offense. This kid's a freshman, Dave. I mean, he really has got a bright future.
He sure is. Kansas State under Bill Snyder's had some outstanding wide receivers. And to give to JJ. Put behind the line, he goes forward about 2 or 3 yards. Trev Alberts was the first one to hit him from behind. Clock rolling, under 9.5 to go in the game, with Kansas State trailing by 10. And boy, now you think back as they signal the plays in from the line. You think back
what you're going to say.
The end of the first half.
I know.
They had it at the 4. They turn it over. Kansas State, by all rights, should be within 4 right now because that resulted in a field goal for Nebraska. Should have been at least a field goal for Kansas State. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Ed Stewart was the one that got his hand on the football. Ed Stewart has been all over this field today for the Huskers. He was the one that pounced on the fumbled football from Chad May on the Wildcats' first play today.
Well, when they pass out awards next week, should the Cornhuskers win this football game, I guarantee he'll be picking up one.
3rd and 8. Chad May faced with a 3rd and long here, trying to keep this drive alive. May checked off of one receiver, went to his second one. That was running, good for the first down. What a terrific play, not only by running to know where the first down marker was, but by Chad May. Watch, he's looking at his receiver number 1. He doesn't find him, and then he finds running.
Well, the key is his offensive line gave him some time running, real nice push. Whenever you can make the defender think you're going on and up, you've done a heck of a job. He stops, comes back, makes the catch. Good football play.
First and 10 Wildcats. They convert on 3rd and 8. Uh-oh, movement. Barrett Brooks. Tell you what, Trev Alberts just puts the fear of God in you.
His presence, man. His presence.
Oh, man.
Oh, and Barrett did a pretty decent job going up against a guy of his stature.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Think about Trev Alberts. Came here as a freshman, a little bit intimidated, coming from Cedar Falls, Iowa. Came out here at midnight one night, Memorial Stadium. He laid on the end on the 50-yard line, looked up in the stars and said, man, I'm going to do something special here. And has he ever?
Made that commitment. And their weight program here at Nebraska is so strong. And they just do a super job of really giving you every opportunity to be the best you can be.
Here comes Trev. May gets it off, and it's caught by Seib. Alberts was hitting Chad May as he released the football. How in the world did he get that pass off?
We talk about a game of inches, and it's a cliche, but boy, it happens a lot in this game. We just talked about Trev. He gets a great start off the ball. That's what put Brooks in such a bad position, because he beats him off the ball. Had he gone for the head, he may have picked up a penalty. Boy, and look at Brad. Brad makes a great catch, holds on, takes a licking, keeps on ticking.
Down to the Nebraska 45, first down. There's the screen pass. He never got it off. Ed Stewart.
Can't fault him on it either. Can't fault him on Nebraska. Boy, they sensed this out. They must have been listening to us. There was nowhere to go. You'd want to say get rid of it, but that time he just had to eat it.
Crowd noise. He never heard Ed Stewart coming.
Boy, Nebraska defense that well. They were all over J.J. Smith.
And a loss of 23. A loss of 13, excuse me. 2nd and 23. 8 minutes to go. Looking long, wide open, Lockett. Touchdown, Kansas State. Wow.
Oh, boy.
How did he get that open? 58 yards.
Boy, I told you this would be a 5-wild day. Wild number 202. Boy, this young man, great move. Great move to get open. Lockett, this kid's a freshman. He will rewrite all the K-State records, this time on sheer speed. And what happens is that Nebraska, what happens, Williams starts peeking in. He's going to figure it's going to be underneath, and he cheats and gets caught on it. Hey, it's not easy to play in the secondary, but one thing you got to do is make up your mind what you're going to do and get over to it. You cannot get caught in no man's land.
Second long pass play of the day for Chad May. The other was a 70-yarder to J.J. Smith. This one 58 yards to Kevin Lockett, the freshman, who picks up his 3rd touchdown of the year. Tate Wright good for the extra point, and the Wildcats are really scaring the Huskers right now. 31-28. The Wildcats, trailed by 17 at the half, have pulled to within 3. But Chad May is having a day that his parents have got to be proud of. Chad May has pulled the Wildcats to within 3, a 58-yard touchdown play to Kevin Lockett, the freshman. Lockett all smiles after the 58-yard reception, and Chad May having the game of his life.
Well, you can't afford not to. Your parents spending a whole month out of work, out to see you play. No, he really is. And the offensive line, it's a team deal.
Clausen booms one deep. That's Reggie Ball. Pretty good return considering he took it a couple of yards deep. Let's take a look at that touchdown again. Chad May to Kevin Lockett.
Well, number one, you don't get much of a pass rush. They roll out of the pocket, which has been a real good scheme on their part. And quite frankly, again, you can't get in no man's land. And they teach you that's defensive secondary 101. Never let anybody get in back of you. I mean, you know what I mean? Keep everything in front of you when you're up by 10. And the worst you can do is put them in field goal position. Boy, Williams.
He was backpedaling all the way, and Lockett just blew right on by him. Frazier is back in at quarterback. Gives it to Jones. Jones, did he go out of bounds? He did. That'll stop the clock. That'll help Kansas State. The Wildcats helping themselves, though, on that drive. 80 yards, 7 plays. They just ate up over 2 minutes. And the 58-yard touchdown to Lockett. Boy, Lockett getting the hugs, the appreciation from his teammates. This club was all but dead going into the locker room at halftime. Jamie Mendez
don't forget
is down
Sibe's
now.
catch, though. Sibe had a real big catch in that drive to really put him in that position.
You want to get the headlines for
Those
the
tight ends, man. Don't you be just talking about these wide receivers.
All right. Well, Mendez is down. He's getting back up, though. Maybe out just a play or so.
Mendez will be back. You believe that?
As he's leaving the field, he's trying to inspire his mates. Let's watch him, number 32 here. At the end of the play, going into the pile.
Well, right there, it kind of catches. Yeah. Almost like he got caught on the turf. Well, you won't see me voting for AstroTurf by no means.
Neither. 2nd and 4. Anytime they ought to put turf in is in a dome. Everywhere else you can grow grass, you ought to grow it.
Gotcha.
Close to a first down. It might be about a yard shy, though, as Jones, he's up to the 33-yard line. Calvin today, 125 yards on the ground. Kirby Hokett makes the stop. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. We're nearing the 7-minute mark here of the 4th quarter. Still plenty of time, and we have got a ball game. 31-28 Nebraska. 3rd and 1. On the option, Frazier's got it and more. A lot more. Mendez trying to track him down. He does. But another big gain for Tommy Frazier.
You talk about a most valuable player.
On a twisted ankle, Frazier runs hard for a first down.
Just hard to imagine that this young man is a sophomore. I mean, just picks it up real well, does exactly what he's supposed to do, breaks a tackle, and here is just man on man. We know he's going with a bad wing, but he still gets it done.
You got 2 guys there with bad wings.
That's right.
Mendez chasing Frazier. A couple of gimpy guys going out there, still running hard.
Gaskin missed that tackle. Think about that thumb.
Much doing inside, a couple of yards on first down for Nebraska.
It's a lot doing, though. He starts pounding you. You get tired of getting up. Yeah, he only looks like 2 or 3 yards. But boy, when you've got a size advantage like Nebraska does, 291 pounds rather than 250. 4th quarter, boy, those Wildcats, you start to feel it.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. Frazier still got it. Now throws. He's caught by Abdul Muhammad. He's tracked down from behind by Laird Veach. Another first down, and now in field goal territory at the very least for Nebraska.
Boy, good call. Good call. Great execution. You know, you've got a Calvin Jones in your backfield. You've got to be scared to death. So if you fake the Calvin, you're going to get their attention. Then you got Frazier on a rollout, which again is going to consume you, and then you throw back to Muhammad. Triple threat offense.
First down Nebraska at the 20-yard line. Abdul Muhammad limps over to the sideline, gets a quick breather. He'll be back.
Close to 100 yards, 6 receptions, 91 yards. And for wide receivers who make a living blocking, that ain't bad.
Officially marked the ball at the 19, just inside the 20. And now Frazier uses up a timeout. Now Nebraska is left with just 1 timeout, and a penalty flag comes in. A penalty flag came in after the timeout was called. Maybe he called it with no time left on the play clock.
There was some verbal abuse.
The timeout was called prior to the time expiring on the 25-second clock.
So the back judge did not hear the timeout being called. It is with 5:35 to go. Don't go away. Nebraska leads by a field goal. Well, Well, Nebraska, the 9th time all-time winningest program. Look at that, consecutive winning years, consecutive bowl, consecutive sellouts, consecutive. That's the story for Nebraska, isn't it?
And the key stat there is that they lead the nation with 46 GT academic All-Americans. I mean, that's just the icing on the cake. It wraps it all together.
For Kansas State, the story, the turnaround.
The 5-0 start, and just to be here, be in the top 25. I mean, they've really done a heck of a job.
First down, Nebraska at the 19. Here comes Frazier, running right behind Gaskins, and Frazier dances out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Gaskins was playing the option. He was playing for Calvin Jones. Well, Frazier took it right inside of him.
Gaskins, unlike most linebackers, can run with Tommy Frazier. That's the big difference. You run 4-3. I mean, you don't have to take a back seat to too many people.
Good football game. Really good football game. Best game I've seen this year.
Well, you know, two teams come in 5-0.
Should be close.
It should be.
And it is. 2nd and 4. Schlesinger's got the first down and the touchdown. Schlesinger, used to block mainly, gets his first touchdown of the year.
That's why they are so good, because they give you so much to think about. Frazier, Calvin Jones, and Schlesinger. You think, oh, the fullback, him too. And he goes in scot-free. That's because everybody else is focusing in on the big guns.
So Bennett comes on to give the Huskers a 10-point lead again. He does. The first score of the second half for Nebraska has given the Cornhuskers some room to breathe again. It is 38-28 Huskers.
And we talk a lot about the offensive line, but K-State has done more than an admirable job. They've really been the fly in the ointment. They have disrupted things. Here we see Gaskin miss another tackle. He's missed 2 tackles now since he's had the dislocated thumb on the hand, and so that doesn't help you. But Nebraska just gnaws on you, man. They peck away, and sooner or later you fall to them. But K-State, no matter what happens on this scoreboard so far right now, this program is taking a step up.
Well, Kansas State 2 years ago here in Lincoln really put a scare into the Huskers, leading 31-24 after the 3rd quarter, putting a scare into them again here today, pulling to within 3. But Nebraska has answered, driving the length of the football field for the touchdown as Corey Schlesinger takes it in from the 13, and 5 minutes 25 seconds remain. But don't forget Chad May having a career day. Can he bring the Wildcats back again? Too many of the folks here have left the sellout crowd at Memorial Stadium. They're hanging around to see the finale of this one.
I don't think anybody's walked out of this place.
Short kick. Coleman's got it at the 8. Look out. Coleman all the way up near midfield to the 48-yard line. Kareem Moss got a hand on him, or Coleman might very well have been gone.
Boy, that was going to the house. And I talked a little bit about Corey being a little tentative on his punt returns. Well, there's nothing tentative about this. I mean, he identifies where that break is, that hole. Really good blocking all the way up in front, special teams all the way. And then he starts to put on the burners, and Moss, boy, has equal speed, stops him, gets out of bounds. K-State now gets a shot to crank it up.
Now marking at the 49-yard line of Kansas State. First down. Look at Chad May. He has broken the record against Nebraska. Most passing yards, 445. Jeff Handy of Missouri had the old record of 424. Mitch running makes the acrobatic catch. He's inside Nebraska territory to the 33.
Boy, running. You talk about a quarterback and a receiver having hand signals, eye signals. This ball right now probably shouldn't have been thrown. The defense has no idea where it's at, but Mitch does. He comes back and makes a great catch. Boy, Byron Miles got me thinking, what in the world happened?
5 minutes to go. First down, K-State at the Nebraska 33. May, given time, looks long again, and that one is incomplete. Toby Wright got a hand on it.
Boy, that was dangerous. You got to gamble right now. Clock's going against you. You need to make a play. That was close.
This is good play all around.
Oh, it is, man. These receivers and defensive backs, we said it early on, they would have to challenge the secondary and give Nebraska some credit because they're stepping up to it right now.
Second down. Good play by Toby Wright. The pass was pretty much right on target, though.
Well, he rolled right out to Trev Albert's side, too. That was surprising.
Play action across the middle. Side with the catch. And boy, did Chad May thread the needle there.
Boy, that was a frozen rope. When in trouble, go to your tight ends.
Let's go down to Duke Fry.
You know, Dave, right before the start of that series, Quentin Newyear on the sidelines looked out to Andre Coleman, said, "We need a big one, baby." He got the big run back, and that offensive line was fired up when they headed out on the field.
Newyear, this is his last shot.
May, pass complete on the far side to Lockett, who had the touchdown his last reception. He gets it down to the 13-yard line.
It's almost as if they're in 2-minute offense. I mean, these guys are just going down the field like they're going 7-on-7.
And Chad May, a new Big 8 record for individual passing in a game. Chad May, his first year in the Big 8. Incomplete. Good coverage again by Toby Wright.
Yeah, he missed running on that one. Mitch was in the end zone on the slant.
So it'll stop the clock. Clock now showing 4:07 to go. And it's a 3rd down and 2. What do you call here? Kansas State doesn't need the touchdown necessarily. They're trailing by 10. They can kick a field goal and go for the score the next time. In and out of the hands of Andre Coleman. And Coleman and Toby Wright having a little dance down on the field. A slam dance, but a dance nonetheless. Now 4th down. Now Kansas State's going to call timeout to think about it.
Can't get it any better than this. I mean, the ball's there a little bit behind, but, you know, you got to make some plays. If you're going to beat the Nebraskas of the world, you got to make plays.
I don't blame Coleman there for shoving Wright off a little bit, too. The pass was incomplete, but you don't blame Wright either. He's not sure the pass is incomplete. Sometimes you're focused on that receiver, not necessarily on the ball.
That's just defensive play. Those guys, and they're always trying to get a little extra hit in.
Well, Kansas State back in action next week against the Colorado Buffaloes. That ought to be another dandy. That one from Manhattan. The aerial attack of Cordell Stewart and Chad May. It should be fun. So check your local listings for the Big 8 game of the week here on Prime Network. Well, 4th down and 2. Myself, I kick the field goal. I get the sure 3 now and go for the touchdown and maybe the 2-point conversion later.
Not a bad conservative strategy going one time.
You need 2 scores. You got to have 2 scores. You got 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go. I mean, it'd be nice, yeah, go for the touchdown here, and the field goal is a lot easier to get. But I think you got to get the points.
I'd go with the option. I'd move that pocket. They've been real successful with it.
So you're going to go for it on 4th.
Hey, I would. I'd go to Mitch running.
All right.
One of those 2 guys.
You're going along with Kansas State. The Wildcats are going to go for it here. The Wildcats down to 1 timeout. 4th down, 2 yards to go. The Wildcats need to get to the 11.
Officials timeout.
Wildcats want a fresh football. Snyder saying, boy, they're making some noise now. It's going to be tough for us to get our play off.
Yeah, they also may try to get Nebraska to jump off sides on this, too. You might have a hard count.
Play clock is down to 10. May. It is caught by running at the 10-yard line. That is a 1st down. So the Wildcats will move the chains. What a gutsy call by Bill Snyder and K-State.
Thank you very much. Go to Mitch running.
Boy, Bill Snyder rolling the dice here in Lincoln. He probably figures you're not going to get too many chances to beat Nebraska. While we have this chance, go for it.
Well, Mitch has been open all day. I mean, that's why I said go to Mitch running.
And now, first and goal, the ball resting at the 9-yard line, just inside the 10. Chad May throws it up for Coleman, and incomplete. Stops the clock, 3:43 to go. And now, even if Kansas State scores, they're going to have to go for the onside kick. Boy, give the Wildcats credit. They were down by 17 at the half. Not only were they down, but they had their daubers down going into that locker room. But the Wildcats have come back here in the second half, and they have taken it right to the 5th-ranked Cornhuskers.
Boy, that penalty with Holcutt right now really looms big.
That penalty way back in the second quarter. The draw play to J.J. Smith up the middle, and he is stopped at the 4-yard line. That's a good call because everyone in the house expecting a pass.
Boy, it was great. Runs into his own man. Beard Brooks, I think, is the only reason he doesn't score.
You see the time remaining in the contest. Kansas State with just 1 timeout remaining. The Huskers also with just 1 timeout. 3rd and goal. The ball inside the 4. That one deflected at the line, and it falls incomplete. Ed Stewart got his hand on the football at the line.
Oh, Ed Stewart has made a ton of plays. That's probably his 5th or 6th key play in this ball game.
And Kansas State is going to go for it again. 4th and goal from the 4, and the Wildcats are going. May with almost 500 yards in the air today.
Watch J.J.
J.J. will not get in.
Yeah, that's tough. Boy, he sure gave it a gutsy effort. 4 yards against the black shirts, and that time is tough. If you're going to throw it as one thing, running on goal line, and we'll see what the defense can do.
Let's watch it again. Chad May on the option to J.J.
Got to go to your go-to guy.
Good hit initially there by Dumas. J.J. trying like crazy to get in.
Never giving up. Yeah, it was great. Great effort.
Now the defense of Kansas State hoping for a turnover.
Yeah, but like you said, now you're down in terms of points. It becomes a numbers game, if you need 10.
That's why I'm saying, to me, I kick the field goal. I mean, that's just my option.
Well, the second time around. First time, I thought with Mitch running, they had a real good thing. They executed and got
but if you're going to go for it the first time around, you might as well go for it the second time around.
Well, 4th and 4, though. When you decide to run, or either I'm going to throw.
So that's why
we're up here.
That's why we're up here, because we can second guess.
That's why we're up here, yeah.
It's easy up here, right?
He made a gutsy call. He stuck with it. And
I mean, I applaud the gutsiness of Bill Snyder going for it there. Just my option, I might have gone ahead, kicked the field goal, get the 3, and then go for the touchdown the next time.
I don't think he thought he could get the ball back either. If anybody can hold the ball on you, Nebraska can.
Yeah, that might be right.
You know, you got, I mean, those big
and you take the option of are you going to get the onside kick and all that.
That's iffy.
Then you're in the position to get the touchdown. I mean, let's go look at it from Snyder's perspective. You get the touchdown there. It's much easier to get a field goal than it is to get a touchdown. A lot easier.
Yeah,
especially if you cover the onside kick. You don't have to go very far at all to get into field goal range.
Well, you could even afford then to hold them and get a punt because you only got to travel 50 yards. You don't have to go 100 to score. I mean, you cut the field in half.
And remember, too, Kansas State gave Nebraska 10 points on turnovers. 1 on a fumble by Chad May, first play. Nebraska took that in for a touchdown. And then a turnover, the end of the first half at the 4-yard line. Frazier still got it, and the first down, perhaps. Wait a minute. No, they mark him out of bounds, shy of the first down. That will stop the clock, and it will be 4th down and inches. Let's see where Frazier goes out of bounds.
Give the officials some credit on that. That was a gutsy call.
Let's watch Frazier as he goes to the far side. Remember, he needed to get to past the 12-yard line. There, his foot slipped out of bounds at about the 11. Right there. Great replay. Let's applaud our... Oh, right there, you can see it clearly. Great replay. Mike Diamond and Kenny Miller in the truck doing a great job for us here on Prime Network today. So it's 4th down, and Bennett to punt. Kansas State had everybody coming.
You got to get that. You got to get up and get that.
Coleman got it at the 45. A 33-yard punt as we step aside with 1:49 to go in the game. Kansas State trailing by 10. So Chad May, can he pull a miracle here? Not much time, only 1 timeout remaining. The Wildcats need 2 scores. He throws it up long. He was looking for Coleman, and the pass in and out of the hands of Troy Dumas, number 4.
Well, he had it. He just threw off his back foot. Couldn't get set up properly to let one go.
So that one falls incomplete. Well, you think back, the final moments of that second quarter. Rick and Kansas State, they were driving. They had the ball at the 4-yard line. They try a trick play. J.J. Smith throws an interception. Nebraska came back. They kick a field goal. That's the difference in the game right now. That one, is it picked off by Beeler? It is. He's got it. He's down at the 42. But Ernie Beeler has got the interception.
2 plays in a row. May throwing off his back foot. Not in a good position to release the football. Nebraska putting on a little pressure. You know, at some point, somebody up front's got to make a play. And you talking about being relentless. Connealy, man, never gave up. I mean, he just kept coming. That's a real athletic play there.
So Beeler makes the interception. And now Nebraska will just try to run out the clock. Kansas State has just 1 timeout remaining. Boy, the Wildcats frustrated against Nebraska again. Calvin Jones, big hole across midfield, down to the 49-yard line. 2nd and 1 now. And it looks like Nebraska survives the scare of Chad May and the Wildcats, and Nebraska will win for the 25th straight time over Kansas State.
I guarantee you they wouldn't want to play him 3 out of 5 right now.
Chad May, a stellar day for him. He'll get a lot of votes for Big 8 Player of the Week, and if he doesn't get it, it'll be a major upset. 30 of 49 for May for 488 yards. But he'll remember the fumble and the interception. Frazier wants to make sure he stays in bounds. Fights somehow, squirms his way through for a 1st down. And the clock under 1 minute now. But boy, give Kansas State a lot of credit. They were fighting the odds on enemy turf, down by 17 at the half, and they really made a game of things. And also give Nebraska credit.
15.
When they needed a score, they got it.
You talk about players of the week, that kid walking off the field, the victor. I mean, that was a gutsy performance. He's running and passing.
I could vote for co-players, Frazier
really
and
good.
May.
Really good. I think you got to go with the victor.
And now a big hole here for Lawrence Phillips. Phillips still on his feet. Touchdown.
Boy, Nebraska. Their backup so incredible.
Phillips with the touchdown run, his 4th touchdown of the year.
Another outstanding freshman. This is the thing about them, boy. They switch gears on you, put in brand new people, and they just knock you out of the box. This is just sheer speed at this point. Look at the downfield blocking. Once again, Nebraska's people on the outside just selling out. Here Mendes misses the block, and he scores.
So Bennett on for the point after. It is good, and now the score looks lopsided. In the paper tomorrow, this is going to look like an easy win for Nebraska. It was anything but, and the guys in red know it. 45-28 our score with 29 seconds remaining. Now Tom Osborne with victory number 201. Incredible. That's a lot of wins.
Man, to be that good, that long, and I think he's real smart, gives a lot of people credit, but let's not lose sight of the fact that that guy has been making things happen. He's at the helm. He's at 201. You're at 204 right now on Wilds. It's been a real special afternoon for us.
And Bill Snyder, on the other hand, will leave Lincoln a loser again, but boy, I'll tell you what, this guy is not a loser in any way, shape, or form. He has resurrected a dead program in Manhattan. I mean, absolutely resurrected the Wildcats. He has given Kansas State hope for better days and good days today.
Well, they'll be recruiting their rear ends off, because I guarantee you, man, we're talking about a character individual, solid program, and we have not heard the last of K-State.
When Bill Snyder went to Kansas State, I doubt there was any tougher job in college football in Division I. And yet he has turned it around and made it a plus in Manhattan. We cannot give Bill Snyder enough credit for what he has done at K-State.
Next week's game is going to be a good one as well.
It should be. Because I'll tell you what, I think Kansas State will gain a lot of confidence off of this game. They'll say, hey, man, we took Nebraska and put it to them. Here comes Coleman. Another good run back for Andre Coleman. Last time he took it up to the 49-yard line. This time up to the 39. But only 22 seconds remain. Kansas State with just one timeout and down by a bunch now, 45-28. So Nebraska will go to 6-0 on the year, 2-0 in the Big 8 Conference. Kansas State will drop to 5-1 and 1-1 in the Big 8. Again next week for these Wildcats. They'll take on the Colorado Buffaloes in Manhattan. We'll have the broadcast for you here on Prime Network. Next week for Nebraska, they'll take on the Missouri Tigers. Tough stretch here for Kansas State. Last week it was Kansas. This week Nebraska. Next week Colorado. Then it's Oklahoma after that as Chad May throws it away. Oh, and Ed Stewart gets into it just a little bit with Eric Wolford.
Yeah, but see, he's throwing, when you throw your arms, ought to be a flag. That's exactly what cost K-State early on.
Ed Stewart has got to be careful. He doesn't want to get ejected and lose playing time next week as well.
See, that's inconsistent. I don't quite understand that one. And we start looking at this here at the end. Right now, obviously, two guys excited about the game, but with this swinging, you know, this is exactly what happened early on with Holcutt. You know, he was swinging after getting kicked, got a flag.
No flag here at all.
Not at all.
And that flag on Holcutt turned to be a huge turning point in this contest. May fired up long again. Pass was intended for Tyson Schweiger, and it falls incomplete. 9 seconds to go.
Incomplete.
Boy, Chad May almost single-handedly today. The touch passing, the long passing, the 70-yarder to J.J. Smith, the 58-yarder to Kevin Lockett. Almost 500 yards passing today for Chad May. This may be the last play of the game. 9 seconds to go. Third down and 10 yards to go for the Wildcats.
On the 38-yard line, 9 seconds.
I think that offensive line has a lot to be proud of as well.
And to give to J.J. Got room to run. Looks like you'll have the first down, and a flag comes down. He's got enough yards for the first down up to the 49-yard line with 2 seconds to go and a flag down. I want to thank our spotters, Mark Arndt and Pete Theo Harris, and our statistician today, Dave Whitty, who came to today's game with somewhat mixed emotions. He attended Kansas State University, has been a lifelong Nebraska fan.
Spotted the flag. Repeat third down.
So the repeat third down after the hold call against Kansas State. But Dave Whitty, wearing the red shirt today, strongly in support of his Cornhuskers.
He's been a little quiet today. You know, he's somewhat subdued.
I want to thank not only Dave, but Mark and Pete as well. Did an outstanding job for us up in the booth today. Third down, 11 yards to go then. In the last play, unless there's a penalty of the game, 2 seconds to go. And that will do it. So Nebraska 6-0 now on the year. Number 201 for Tom Osborne. And a little more extracurricular going on down on the field.
Well, that's when you got a nip in the bud. And again, I think that inconsistency towards that swinging of the arms is one that I won't forget.
Tom Osborne quickly getting his players off the field and congratulating Kansas State University. So Nebraska goes to 6-0 on the year with a 48-25 hard-fought win over Kansas State today. We'll be back in a moment.